Hey, that sounds good. I got to start. I got to watch my time here, guys. 6 o'clock. Hey, where's Brian? Nothing. It doesn't work. I've got the buttons to flash, and they're on different numbers. Okay. Very good. But he's got a
Tonight, Central Iowa
3. Testing 1, 2, 3. I've got nothing. Wait a second. Hang on. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
At Mid-American Energy, part of putting power in your hands is helping to keep families safe. That's why Mid-American provides free educational safety programs to schools, asks you to call 811 before you dig, have annual furnace inspections, and be aware of hazards at home. Mid-American Energy safely delivers electricity and natural gas to us in good times and stormy ones. That's Mid-American Energy.
Moines, we stream online at iowacatholicradio.com. And, of course, the 3 radio stations, 1150 AM, 88.5, and 94.5 FM. And, folks, we're also webcasting, and you can watch the game through iowacatholicradio.com. Just click on the live button, and you'll see us on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoullier, Brian Morris, as we introduce ourselves to the TV audience, Dave and Brian. Welcome on a very warm night here at Valley Stadium. Week 1 for Dowling. Week 2 for Urbandale in this high school football matchup.
It seems we always start like this, doesn't it? 90 degrees, 100 degrees up here, and then we're going to have 5 coats on at the end. But you know what? It's football. Who cares?
I'm like Albert Brooks from Broadcast News. I am sweating, and people are seeing it on the web, so I apologize for that.
I have a towel, Brian, if you need it.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in and listening in, both on radio and on the webcast, and hopefully getting all our sound issues and everything taken care of. But, guys, tonight, Dowling playing its opening night, and all 3 of us drove to Cedar Rapids last week, and I'd asked Coach Wilson this, because we'll have the Coach Wilson segment here, folks, talk to the head coach at Dowling Catholic about the delay of game. We had a 3.5 hour delay. Dave, 9 o'clock, ADs and coaches and officials got together, and we did not play last Friday night in Cedar Rapids, so the Maroons turn around, go back home, and they go 0 for the night. They don't play in week 1.
You know, and you look at that, first of all, spending 4 hours in a press box with you two, and no one in the stadium was an experience in itself. But, you know, you look at that, and there are a couple advantages and disadvantages. A huge disadvantage is Dowling hasn't played a game yet. And a lot of these kids really have to establish themselves. But we have a film on Urbandale, so that's big too. So it kind of goes both ways.
And for Urbandale, they got all their kinks worked out in the live situation. Yes, it was a battle of Aurora, Brian, with Hoover and Urbandale last week, but it was 69-7 Urbandale, and they had the running clock in the second half.
Yeah, total domination by Urbandale last week, and I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight. Is a lot of people running behind the big offensive line, 2 Division I recruits for this Urbandale team, and then you throw on top of that a 320-pound center. So it is going to be a lot of running tonight, I think, at Dowling's defensive line, which is going to have to be up to speed tonight to take on that huge offensive line.
Yeah, and Dave, you know, this heat could be a big factor with the offense and defensive lines. You know, we're sweating up here. You imagine putting on all that equipment with shoulder pads, helmets. Both teams are going to be that way, so conditioning will be the first factor for each team tonight in tonight's game between Dowling and Urbandale.
Oh, without question, heat will be a factor, and it's going to affect both football teams tonight. You can't overcome that. They have been practicing in this heat all week, so that helps prepare them for what could happen tonight, but they haven't been preparing at game speed, and once you get that, we'll get cramping in the second half, if not the first half, and, you know, it's tough. They're going to have to take care of themselves.
Yeah, I think what you said, Dave, the game speed, Dowling's played against each other now for about a month. You get out there against these teams, and Urbandale's going to have some speed at the running back position, and you're not used to that, so it's going to be interesting to see how Dowling adjusts to this game speed.
Once again, you're listening and watching to the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio, streaming through iowacatholicradio.com. Yes, you can watch us through the webcast. All you got to do is click on the live button, and it gives you the opportunity to hear the audio or watch the video cast, the webcast of Dowling Catholic Radio this year, as we are synchronized. We're simulcasting, Dave Marcoullier, so no matter where you're living, we got some folks out in the East Coast I know are checking in today. You can watch us, and we want to thank some of our sponsors and supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. They include Ashworth Vision Clinic, supporting our broadcast of Dowling Catholic football. Ashworth Vision Clinic on 60th Street and Ashworth Road, West Des Moines. Thank you to them. Well, gentlemen, as we get ready for kickoff, Dowling's ready to hit somebody other than themselves, and Dave Marcoullier, you as a coach know it's been a battle. All the positions are open because the Maroons returned nobody from last year, and it starts at quarterback, and there's been quite a battle there between the 2 players, J.T. Brown and Kirk Walding, and basically it's been determined by a coin flip, some of their practices. Be interested to see who takes the first several series tonight between the battle of 2 Dowling senior quarterbacks, J.T. Brown and Kirk Walding.
Yeah, and what you said is not a joke. They actually do flip a coin to see who will start in the practice. That's what they did last week for the Xavier game that was not played. They flipped a coin to see who would start, and they're going to do it again this week. And, you know, you look at a 2-quarterback situation, many times the old saying goes, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. That's not true in this situation. These are 2 quality quarterbacks that can get the job done. They're just at the same level right now, and we're really going to be looking to see who can step up and establish himself as the quarterback.
And one thing, Dave, is the offensive line for Dowling completely revamped. Peter Nank and Alex Palmy got some playing time last year, but Pete Ryan, Matthew Bates, and Zach Ross are going to get the start tonight. And that's a pretty experienced group, but yet you got a sophomore in there in Ross and a junior in Nank in the starting lineup.
Yeah, Zach Ross is only a sophomore, and he is just learning the system. He's 6'3", 250, so he's a good-sized kid. I've been watching him closely at practice, and you know what? He's going to be a good one. He's still got a little ways to go to learn the entire system, but he's going to be very good. And you mentioned Peter Dank over at the left tackle, 6'6", 270. He's a Division I prospect, especially if he turns it up a gear this year.
Absolutely. And on the defensive side of the football, Bronte Wells, Ryan Mills, Steven Johnson, and Elias Bell, they got a lot of playing time last year. But Brian, they're going to be starters this year. They're not in the rotation. They're the actual starters, and they've got a lot of seasoning from last year, facing last year's offense.
No, absolutely. They got to play against the offense that led the team to the state championship last year, and it's Wells, Bells, Mells. So Amadeo has a hard enough time anyway with the words, so this year's going to be a real struggle, I know, with all that going on. But Mark and Dave, I mean, you think about it, Dowling 21 new starters. It's just, we don't know a lot about this team, and by them not playing last week, we really don't know anything about this team.
Yeah, we're going to find out soon. Now, on the Urbandale side of things, as we get set for pregame here on Iowa Catholic Radio, as we stream at iowacatholicradio.com, and also on Central Iowa Sports Network, CIST TV. And, you look at the Urbandale side of the football, Jake Heinrich and Caleb Bright. Offensive side, that's where they're going to start. They're also going to play some defense. But, Dave, these are two Division I players for Urbandale. Left tackle Heinrich at 6'4", 290, and Bright 6'4", 285. Heinrich going to Arkansas, and Bright heading to Bowling Green. And they're the lighter ones. Chancellor House, 6'6", 320. He's the center. What an offensive line Urbandale brings to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching him play last year. That's a huge offensive line. And with two Division I athletes on that offensive line, you know they're going to be good, they're going to be solid, and they're going to have good technique. We have some awful good defensive front four going against them. It's going to be quite a battle watching that tonight.
Well, and then you look at the fullback for them, Alex Newberg. He's 240, so you're going to have 300 pounds. You're going to have 280 pounds. You're going to have 275 all in the middle of the field, and Dowling's going to have to stop that. And we're going to see Urbandale run it 95% of the time tonight, guys.
Now, gentlemen, Urbandale runs that flex bone. It's kind of like the wing tee, a little version of that. And so the read is through the fullback, and that'll be tonight. Alex Newberg, Tavian Gardner, and G. Nayu. Those are the three tailbacks that get the start. Javon Bernstein, Eric Maluski, and Vernon Cheatham will also be in there. But, Dave, you run that you've seen the wing tee being run. Mm-hmm. The key is the fullback and that first mesh with the quarterback.
Absolutely. And the true wing tee is a lot of misdirection, a lot of guard pulling. That's not what Urbandale does. They'll run that fullback at 230 pounds right at you. He's going to get behind those big linemen, and that's where they're going to want to get the yardage. Then they're going to use those wings to try and pop it outside and maybe a little option.
And that's why the Dowling, all the new linebackers, Sheedenhelm, Scigliano, Audi, Hummel, they're going to have to make the tackles because you're going to have a lot of people just making a big mess there in the middle of the field. Those linebackers are going to have to peel off their blockers and come up and make that stop, and I think the linebackers are key tonight.
Tonight's game brought to you by DowlingWebcasting.com, and it's brought to you by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy believes in safe, clean energy delivery to hundreds of thousands of people across this great state of Iowa. Well, guys, we've talked a little bit about both teams. The Urbandale defense, Trevor Kim and Darian Smith, the linebacker defensive line, they're back from last year. But, Brian, as you see the keys, what's the keys for Urbandale tonight?
Well, I think keys for Urbandale is they're going to have to maintain the line of scrimmage and not make mistakes. What we've seen from Urbandale historically, they'll have 2 or 3 turnovers a game, have bad handoffs. They got to minimize those mistakes and keep that Dowling offense off the field.
And, Dave, the keys for Dowling Catholic tonight?
Well, I think that both the keys that I would look at are offensively. Defensively, I think we're going to be pretty solid. Offensively, we have a brand-new offensive line. We don't know what they can do yet. They did get some playing time last year. A couple of them are new. We'll see what they can do. And without question, the 2 quarterbacks. Who's going to step up? How will they perform tonight? We're going to find out because they haven't had that opportunity yet, so we'll find out tonight.
All right, the pregame show continues here on Iowa Catholic Radio and Central Iowa Webcasting. We're also going to take a break. We're going to come back with head coach Tom Wilson, Dowling Catholic. I had a conversation with him about tonight's game. We come back. Brian Morris will be on the sidelines tonight, so we'll talk to him. Dave and I will be in the booth. Back after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Action! Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas. Cut! What? Action! We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on. Cut! Action! Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
Kristen?
Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas.
Cut!
What?
Action!
We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on.
Cut! Action!
Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need
Cut!
you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it
gentlemen, Dowling Catholic would like to give a special thank you to Bishop Cates and all of the pastors in the Moines Diocese for their loyal support of the Dowling Catholic students and pastoral guidance of the school's mission. Will you please rise, everyone, for the pregame prayer? In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Loving and gracious God, as we gather for the game this evening, help us to feel your presence with us. We ask your blessing on both teams, the players, coaches, officials, and fans. Help us to appreciate the opportunities you give us that we might be able to give you greater glory. Help us also to keep perspective and to rededicate ourselves to fair play and good sportsmanship. We pray in the name of Jesus our Lord, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And welcome back to Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcouli, Brian Morris as we get set for Dowling and Urbandale tonight. And in a moment, we'll catch up with the Dowling Marching Band and the playing of our national anthem. That is our national anthem being played before tonight's game alongside Dave Marcouli, Mark Amadale as we bring you Dowling Catholic football here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Dave and I in the booth here at Valley Stadium on a very warm day. Lower 90s was the high today, Dave Marcouli, but tonight it's going to cool off a little bit, we think. Brian Morris, we sent him down to check the field conditions here in a moment, but it's a warm night for the opening night for Dowling Catholic.
Yeah, if it cools off sooner, that would be a good deal. It's not too bad down on the field. Brian and I were down there earlier, about an hour ago, and there's a pretty good breeze down there. It's just not in the press box, Mark.
It certainly is not. Let's go down for our first report from the sideline. Brian Morris is down there right at the 30-yard line here as we broadcast tonight on iowacatholicradio.com and Central Iowa Sports Network. And Brian, I see you're in the shade. Well, we lost our connection with Brian for some moment. And we'll have to get that back. I don't know what we did there, but Dave, we'll have to get our connection with Brian back. He may have to reboot.
Well, I'm looking at him. He's still talking away, so he must have had something to say.
Check, check, check.
There you go. Go ahead, Brian.
You got.
Well, we're going to have to work on that as we get set for tonight's game. And Dave, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, as the coin flip has not been initiated yet, but for Dowling, on the offensive side, it will be either Kurt Walding or J.T. Brown starting at quarterback. Walding, they're both seniors. Walding wearing number 13, Brown number 8. In the backfield, we'll see Cole Deskin. He'll wear number 5, a junior. Also Jacob Zachary and Aaron Craw. Zachary wearing number 23, Craw wearing number 3. All juniors in that backfield for the Maroons. The fullback is Kobe Gaines, and he's one of those young men who blew his ACL out last year. He's back. He'll start as a senior at fullback for Dowling Catholic, and Bryce Shonka will back him up. And the offensive line, we talked a little bit about that, Dave, in our pregame. Peter Nank at left tackle, 6'6", 270. He'll wear number 77. Pete Ryan, the left guard, 5'11", 230, number 64. He's a senior. The center is Matthew Bates. He'll wear number 62, a 6'2", 215-pound senior. The right guard is the youngster, Zach Ross, number 75, a 6'3", 250 pounds. And the right tackle, Alex Palmy, number 67, a 6'3", 285-pound senior. So That is the starting offensive line. The tight end is Stevie Sarcone, number 88. We've heard his name mentioned in high school basketball with Dowling Catholic basketball. He's a 6'6", 230-pound senior wearing number 88. And Blake Bagenstas, number 83, the 6 foot, 175-pound senior, also backs him up. And the wide receivers for the Maroons, Cole Shazinski and Nick Adam, along with Tommy Wanick and Jonathan Bliss. Bliss, another one of those ACL wonders last year, injured his knee, but came back. So that's a look at the starting offense for Dowling. On the defensive side, Bronte Wells, Ryan Mells, Stevie Johnson, and Elias Bell. Those the front four. Mells, that's Ryan Mells, number 66, being the junior, and Elias Bell, the other junior, Dave.
And that front four is rock solid, Mark. You can put the linebackers in there also, but you look at the front seven for Dowling Catholic defense. There's a little experience. They got some playing time, especially Bronte Wells came in when Max Morris got injured last year, and he got a lot of playing time. Another Division I possibility there.
The linebackers are Aaron Craw, he'll wear number 3, along with Jacob Schiedenhelm, Nico Scigliano, and Ross Oddie. Also Jacob Hummel in there, and juniors and seniors in that group. In the corners, Moses Duwa, number 4, along with Jacob Hummel, and then the free safety is Jack Kerner. So Kerner, Schiedenhelm, and Duwa, you hear a lot of good things about them from the Dowling coaching staff. Dave, that sets the starting lineup for head coach Tom Wilson in his 11th year at Dowling, 104 wins, 18 losses on the season. And now let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Urbandale Jayhawks under 10th year head coach Sam Anderson, with a 39-52 record in his 10 years at Urbandale, and they come in with a 1-0 record, a 68-7 win last week over Hoover. And the quarterback for the Jayhawks is George Rice, number 10, a 5'11", 185-pound junior. He's backed up by Dalton Nelson, a 5'11", 175-pound senior who wears number 12. But Nelson and Rice were kind of battling out in the preseason, Dave Marcoulé, for this Jayhawk team. So you talk about Dowling having dual quarterbacks. Jayhawks did, but they've established their starter.
Yeah, and I see that they went with a junior, so that'll be interesting. But he's more of a ground game quarterback, executing this veer-style misdirection option offense more so than a passer, Mark.
Okay, let's set the rest of the Urbandale starting lineup. And the running backs are Alex Newberg, number 25. He's got some experience from last season, along with Tavian Gardner. He is a junior. Also back there will be Javon Burnside, a freshman who will also return kickoffs for Urbandale. Burnside, a 5'6", 145-pound freshman, and Eric Maluski, 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. That's the Urbandale backs, and they'll run that wing T flex bone offense. And also in the backfield will be Gene Nayu, wearing number 7, a 5'10", 175-pound senior. So Newberg, Gardner, and Nayu are the starters for Urbandale. Burnside, Maluski, and Cheatham will also be in the backfield tonight. Wide receivers are Blake Lang, number 80, and Brennan Kennedy, number 81, Lang a junior, and Kennedy a sophomore. And the offensive line, and this is a huge line. The left tackle is Jake Heinrich. Now, he starts at left tackle. Dave, they're going to move him wherever they want to move him.
Right.
Heinrich, 6'4", 290-pound senior, wearing number 75, going to Arkansas next year. Keegan Perez is the left guard, 5'9", 220, and a senior. The center is Chancellor House, 6'6", 320, and a senior, wearing number 73 for the Jayhawks. And right guard is Caleb Bright, 6'4", 285-pound senior, wearing number 53. And the right tackle, number 51, Nick Delmagus, a 6'2", 205-pound junior. So that's a look at the offensive line for Urbandale. Christian O'Hara, number 77, and Eli McNeese will also get some playing time. On the defense, Darian Smith and Trevor Kim lead this Urbandale defense. Smith, last year's starter on the defensive line, wears number 93, 6'4", 190, and a senior. The defensive tackles are Derek Mowry and Ross Secor. Mowry at number 74, Secor at number 33 rather, and they're both the juniors. Defensive end is Turner Ellis, 6', 200-pound junior for Urbandale, wearing number 48. The linebackers, Luke Robson, Trevor Kim, and Cody Pearson. Pearson and Kim anchored that defense last year for Urbandale. Dave at linebacker. Pearson a senior, as is Kim, but Kim has the most experience and probably one of the leaders there.
And without question, Mark, the two guys to watch are Heinrich and Bright.
And
they're going to move them around, and they're going to run that big fullback, Alex Newberg, 230 pounds, right behind him.
That's right. And we'll set the rest of the defense for Urbandale. Caleb Kistenmacher, number 27 at one corner, and Hank Puckett, number 8, the other corner. Puckett, a senior, and Kistenmacher, a junior. And the safeties, Nate Stoltz, number 15, and number 9, Chris Miller for Urbandale. And Urbandale will have Javon Burnside on kickoff returns, and Hank Puckett will also punt returns. So that's a look at the starting lineups tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. Mark Hamadale, Dave Marcoule. Let's see if we can bring in Brian Morris, see if we got his mic turned up, and hopefully got all that technical difficulties out of the way. Brian, you there? And still nothing. We got to work on that. We'll work it off on the break here. We got just a few minutes until game time. But Dave, a very warm night. Both teams on the sidelines, ready to go, and we're going to have the coin toss here in a moment, I believe. Are we about set for kickoff?
they had the coin toss while we were talking, so we missed it. But I believe Dowling is receiving tonight.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with a kickoff. Dowling and Urbandale from Valley Stadium. Week 1 for Dowling, week 2 for Urbandale. Back after these messages on Iowa Catholic Radio.
Tonight, Central Iowa Sports Network presents
Cole's going to get the call up the middle. He sees a seam. 10-5, touchdown Maroons. He's got a seam. 5-2-1, touchdown Valley Tigers.
Central Iowa Football, live from Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Central Iowa Football is brought to you by the Atlantic Bottling Company, CenturyLink, Central Iowa Football, live on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Central Iowa Football is also brought to you by Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Shields. Are you ready for some football?
And welcome back to Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network as we get set for kickoff. Dowling and Urbandale tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Hamadale, Dave Marcoule, and Brian Morris. And we're having a little difficulty with Brian's mic. We'll hopefully get that all squared away if we get that rebooted. But David should be a dandy. Both teams still on the sidelines, and we thought we were timing this right out to get kickoff underway. But we're just waiting for the clock to tick 7, and we're a minute from there. How about that?
27 seconds. They have to wait for that clock, Mark. You cannot set it. Both teams are just standing around waiting for the game to start.
All right, Brian Morris, we do have your mic. I can hear you, and keep it away from your mouth. Don't get it. Don't kill it, and give us a report. We're having issues with Brian's mic, so we'll probably have to get him to come up here, Dave, and we'll get it all set. Well, let's take a look at some of our sponsors and advertisers here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. Dowling Catholic High School football broadcasts are brought to you with the support of Bows and the Florist. Quality flowers, a variety of flowers, coast to coast, 24 hours a day. Just call 244-ROSE. That's 244-ROSE, 244-7673. DowlingWebcasting.com, brought to you by the Greater Des Moines Catholic Football League. The Greater Des Moines Catholic Football League practices heads-up safety league-wide. www.dmcatholicfootball.com. Okay, as we get set for kickoff, Mark Hamadale, Dave Marcoule. We're in the shade here at Valley Stadium. 90-plus degrees here in Central Iowa. We're underway as Heeman boots it in the end zone touchback, and the Urbandale offense will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line, Dave, as we get to see the Urbandale offense go up against the Dowling defense.
And this is going to be quite a matchup with the front. The front 4, you can go as deep as the front 7 of Dowling Catholic versus that huge offensive line for Urbandale.
All right, Jayhawks will have George Rice at quarterback. He wears number 10. For those of you watching on the webcast, you'll see Urbandale getting huddled up on their sideline and coming right to the line of scrimmage. Alex Newberg, Tavian Gardner, and G. Naiu in the backfield for the Jayhawks. As the Dowling defense is now set, and we're underway. The first snap of the 2015 season going right now for Dowling Catholic. Out of the wing T formation, back to throw on 1st down. They fired over the middle. The pass is caught at midfield by the Jayhawks by Blake Lang, and it's a 1st down Jayhawks right at, Dave, the Dowling 47-yard line.
Yeah, they surprised Dowling right off the bat by throwing the ball. Aaron Krall seemed to have lost his footing on that play, and Urbandale made a nice catch for a big 1st down in Dowling territory.
Okay. The play goes for 33 yards. And a Jayhawk 1st down at the Dowling 47. 1st down Urbandale, and they'll have the left wing back will be G. Nayu. Quarterback under center is George Rice. In the backfield, the fullback is Alex Newberg. And the give is to Newberg, and he slashes across the 45 down to the Dowling 42-yard line. Shy of the first down, but pretty good gain on first down. Followed that left guard and left tackle, Heinrich and Perez for Urbandale.
Yeah, it was hard to see who made the tackle, but Nico Scigliano definitely was in on part of that.
So Newberg, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 Jayhawks. They work out of the flex bone, hand off to Newberg, and he's wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. May have fallen forward for a yard down to the 41. Well, it'll bring up 3rd down for the Jayhawks, 3rd and 4.
Steven Johnson, a senior defensive lineman, 6 feet, 245. Nice solo tackle by Steven.
All right, brings up 3rd down and 4. Urbandale at the 41-yard line of Dowling. Jayhawks flip-flop their ends. Brennan Kennedy, number 81, slot left. Back in motion, they'll run the option right. The pitch back goes to G. Nayu, tries to turn the corner, and he's slammed down. He'll be near a first down. I think he'll be about a yard short, says the Dowling defense, and they came flying in there as Nayu tried to turn the corner. They're going to stop his forward progress inside the 39 of Dowling.
Ross Audi coming up and putting a nice shot on him. We're kind of seeing Urbandale's offense right now. Pound straight ahead with the fullback, and when they want to get outside, they'll run that option gain to one of the wing backs and try and use their speed. And those 2 wing backs are loaded with speed, Mark.
The Jayhawks going for it. 4th and 1 at the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. No score, Dowling and Urbandale. Jayhawks go left to right towards the south end zone. The hand off for a first down goes to Newberg, the fullback, and he crashes through there, follows his big center. Big number 73, Chancellor House, and gets the first down and more down to the Dowling 34, Dave.
Well, with a foot to go and a 230-pound fullback and 2 Division I athletes and a 6'6", 320 center, I think you know what play they're going to run, and they're going to run it every time until someone can stop it.
Well, 4 straight rushing plays for Urbandale to go with their opening pass of the ball game. Went for 33 yards and a first down, and now a loose football on the exchange as quarterback George Rice ran the option left. They're going to say it's fallen on it is the Jayhawks. So it'll be 2nd down and long for the Urbandales. They got lucky there with a fumble on the play, Dave.
Yeah, Rice didn't quite get the handle on the snap, and he almost fumbled the ball. Urbandale came up with it.
So it'll be the line of scrimmage will still be the 34. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Jayhawks on no gain in the last play. As they run that flex formation, back to throw they go. The pass is caught on the far left side. That's Blake Lang with another catch up to the 27-yard line, a gain of 7.
Nice coverage by Aaron Kroll, coming up and making a tackle. Brings up 3rd and a couple, Mark. 3.
So Urbandale with Lang with his 2nd catch. He had a 33-yarder to start the game, and that one for 7. And it'll be 3rd and 3 from the Dowling 27. And now we got penalty flags down. And this will be our first penalty of the season for Dowling Catholic. And usually on the offense here, might be a procedure call here, Dave, on the offensive line.
Yeah, that's a good thing for Urbandale because Ryan Wells really shot the gap on that play.
They're going to call it on Dowling. Offside Dowling. So the penalty.
That's probably who it was who shot the gap. I didn't see him jump at all.
5-yard penalty against the Maroons. That's a 1st and 10 now for Urbandale at the Dowling 22. Jayhawks now taking the opening kickoff and are all the way down to the Dowling 22-yard line. 7 plays on this Jayhawk drive. Once again, the quarterback under center. That is George Rice. He has broken bone formation. There's a toss play. Nayu, right side, trying to turn the corner, and he's driven down at the 25-yard line. Dowling was all over that, and Dave, a nice job of the Dowling linebacker, Jacob Hummel.
Jacob Hummel did a great job of working off the block of the wingback and holding contained to get outside. Just a beautiful job in solo tackle. Nice job by Jacob.
All right, it is 2nd and 12. Hummel, tackle for loss, back to the 24-yard line. As
Heinrich moves to the left tackle this play, Mark.
They've been flip-flopping. Then back to throw is quarterback George Rice, fires it out in the left flat. Just Dapped away, incomplete. Nice job that time by Aaron Craw on defense for Dowling. Intended receiver was Blake Lang. He's already caught 2 passes in this drive, and he threw it kind of high and beyond him there, Dave Marcoulé. Pass falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 12 for Urbandale at the Dowling 24 with 7:37 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they seem to be using Blake Lane's height at 6'2", 185 over on Aaron Crawl's side. Aaron is only 5'7", 180. They have been, all 3 of the last passes have gone to him.
Jayhawks now on 3rd and 12. Back to throw is Rice. Fires it out in the far flat. Pass is incomplete as
nice coverage by Jacob Hubble again.
Indeed, I'm trying to see who made the tackle there, Dave, but it was well covered, well thrown, and the receiver just couldn't hang on to it to bring up 4th down for the Jayhawks and a field goal unit out.
Jacob Hubble is another great linebacker, very, very intelligent. And I tell you, if this young man continues to improve, he could be a Division I player someday also.
All right,
just a junior.
Caleb Bright will move to center as the field goal unit in. The holder is Dalton Nelson, and Hunter St. John trying to give the Jayhawks a 3-0 lead. A 31-yard field goal from the right hash. Ball is down. Kick is high enough. It's long enough, and it is no good off to the left on a 31-yard field goal attempt by Hunter St. John, the senior for the Jayhawks. So with 7:27 to play here in the first quarter, no score, Dowling and Urbandale here on Iowa Catholic Radio. I want to thank our fine supporters and sponsors, including the Catholic Tuition Organization, provides tuition assistance to families to attend our Catholic schools thanks to their generous donors, and 65% Iowa tax credit available to them online at ctoiowa.com. And Dowling Webcasting is brought to you by Waters Autoland. New and used cars and trucks. Todd and Thad Waters offers Buicks and many other makes and models. Catch the wave at Waters. 1st and 10, Dowling on the first play of the game. The Maroons from their own 24-yard line, Dave. A nice running play as they got it across the 25 up to the 30-yard line. That was Kurt Walding getting the start at quarterback, Mr. Marcoulé.
And this is what we've been waiting to see. This offense and these quarterbacks, to see if one of these quarterbacks will separate himself from the other.
And immediately a penalty flag down.
I think that's number 48, offsides for Urbandale.
2-yard run that time by the Maroons, but they're going to get the Jayhawks for offside. So it's not been the offense that has made a penalty tonight. It's been a defensive offside for each defense tonight, Dave, Dowling and Urbandale.
Yeah, you could see that from clear up here, Mark, that young man was definitely lined up past the football. Brings up 1st and 10.
Maroons on a 2-yard reception that time earlier by Bliss, and now they go back to the running game, and they just hand it off right up the gut. Cole Deskin, Dowling experience in the backfield. Deskin slices up to the 35-yard line. Nice run that time, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
And again this year, Dowling runs this no-huddle offense, and they go quick. So, Mark, I don't know if I'll be saying much.
All right, here is Walding. A lateral pass. It's caught and dropped, and now a loose football. They're saying it's incomplete. A lateral pass could also be a fumble, Dave, if it's ruled a lateral. But it was a forward pass, even though it was thrown laterally, and the intended receiver was crawled and it's incomplete.
You know, they work on that play a lot in practice, and to this day, Mark, I have never, ever seen a back drop that football on that play. But
now.
It's game situation. It's completely different, and that's why they play the game.
All right, Bliss on a 6-yard reception, and Dowling has a nice running play and now an incomplete pass. So it brings up 3rd and 6 for the Maroons. Walding back to throw, fires it out. It's caught in the far sideline and out of bounds, or nearly out of bounds, is a receiver on the play, and that being Jonathan Bliss with another catch, but shy of the 1st down, Dave, up near the 38-yard line of Dowling. Gain of 3, a little short pass that time.
Bliss is an outstanding receiver, runs unbelievable patterns. It is 4th, and the punt team is out, but as we always know, that does not necessarily mean they're going to punt the ball.
What do you mean, Mr. Marcoulé?
Well,
you always punted the ball.
Watch and see here.
Maroons late getting a player in the ball game. Moses Duwall late getting in, and Tom Wilson has to burn a timeout. So with 5:52 to play here in the first quarter, no score, Dowling and Urbandale here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. We'll take a break and be back. You're listening to Dowling Catholic Football, streaming online at iowacatholicradio.com.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
By Dowling Catholic, and now finally picked up by Urbandale on the punt return. As a nice job that time by the Maroons punter Alec Heeman, drilled it all the way inside the 20, and the Jayhawks had a hard time corralling that, Dave, and Hank Puckett returns it, finally corrals it, and return up to only the 13-yard line. Outstanding special teams coverage by the Maroons.
You know, Alex Heeman is an excellent putter. He's really doing well in practice this year. I've been watching him quite a bit. The Urbandale young man signaled for a fair catch, and he should have caught the ball, Mark, but he let it fall, and then he picked it up.
Then he picked it up. All right, it'll be first down Urbandale. Line of scrimmage is their own 13. Both teams had each a possession offensively and had to punt the football, or rather Urbandale had to miss a 31-yard field goal. So with 5:38 to play here in the first quarter, Urbandale from their own 13-yard line, and on first down they keep it on the ground, and that's Newberg, the fullback. You know, it's kind of like the old wishbone, Dave. I don't know if some of our listeners know what that is, but maybe some of the grandparents do. But they run that broken bone wishbone. The fullback right behind the center, and that fullback is Newberg. And the reads, the backs behind the tackles are Tavian Gardner and Gene Nayu, but they give it to Newberg, who has a lot of experience for the Jayhawks.
And Nico Scigliano on the tackle. Nice job coming up to make the tackle. Nice job by Dowling interior again. Making the tackle.
And again, a running play right up the gut and just a short gain. I think it was Newberg.
Ryan Wells on the bottom of the pile. They just keep driving straight ahead. Not much in the line play, Mark. They haven't pulled anyone all night. Just straight ahead blocking.
All right, brings up 3rd and 7. Jayhawks from their own 16-yard line. 4:40 to play first quarter. No score, Dowling and Urbandale. Jayhawks going left to right. They're the visiting team in the visiting white uniforms with the blue trim and numbers. Back to throw is quarterback George Rice. Fires it over the left side. Pass is incomplete. He threw into coverage that time as he tried to hit his intended receiver that time, Chase Freud. And it fell incomplete, and they'll bring up the punting unit for Urbandale, Dave.
Boy, Rice really wound up on that pass, Mark. It took a little bit of time getting there. Dowling did a nice job reading the quarterback and did a nice job on the coverage, forcing Urbandale to punt. Dowling should have excellent field position.
All right, Jayhawks will bring their punter in, and that is also their place kicker, and that's Hunter St. John, number 16, 5'11", 170-pound senior. Jayhawks late getting a player in. They got 15 seconds left on the clock to get him in. And now they're set to punt. Punting from his own 3-yard line will be St. John, back deep for Dowling. And twin safeties. Here's the punt. They get it away, and it's caught at the 47-yard line by the Maroons. A nice return by Dowling Catholic, running with the football. And that is Jake Kerner all the way down to the 20-yard line. David, look, he did a nice job waiting for his blockers. Instead of just taking off and trying to kick it one way or the other, Kerner went between the hash and got it all the way down to the Jayhawk 20.
Yeah, great run. And these punt returners for Dowling, they have about 4 or 5 of them, are very dangerous, and they can burn you at any time. Dowling's got great field position. Let's see if they can put it in the end zone here,
All right,
Mark.
Let's see if we got Brian's mic fixed. And I hear him. And Brian, nice return by Jake Kerner, waited for his blockers.
It really was, guys. And the one who made a good spring.
We're having trouble with Brian's mic cutting out. On first down, Dowling from the Urbandale 21. A pass over the near side. It's caught. And I believe that's Stevie Sarcone. It is the tight end for the Maroons, inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 8. It'll bring up 2nd and short. Nice little pattern there by the Dowling tight end.
Very nice run by Stevie Sarcone and allowed him some separation from that cornerback.
All right, here's Dowling with the ball, and the quarterback, Kurt Walding, wants to throw, looks left, looks right, and then he dives forward and gets maybe back to line of scrimmage for no gain. That play was blown up by the Urbandale defense.
It was the quarterback power, quarterback draw that they were trying to set up there. I don't know if Kurt gave up on the hole a little bit too early, but it was off tackle to the right side is where that play was designed to go. He elected to go back to the left.
All right, the Maroons in a pistol formation, and they're going to send Cole Deskin in motion right to left. Now here's Walding. Gets hit at the line of scrimmage and falls forward down to the 12-yard line, so it'll bring up 4th and 1 for the Maroons. They got to get to the 11. Line of scrimmage is the 12, so Walding picked up a yard.
Yeah, that was the same play again, Mark, a quarterback power where they're trying to get off tackle. And my guess is the coaches saw that hole to the right side and said run it again, and it closed down a little bit that time. Brings up 4th and short.
Maroons will work out of the pistol. Quarterback is Kurt Walding, 6'2", 210-pound senior. Now he looks back at the line of scrimmage. The Maroons have one receiver split out wide to the right, double tight end set. 4th and 1 from the Urbandale 12 with 2:43 to play. Now Deskin in motion left to right. Quarterback draw, and here's Walding. Dives for the first down. I think he got it down to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal Maroons. And Walding, Kurt did a nice job of just finding that seam in the Dowling offensive line. Matthew Bates at center, and the guards, Pete Ryan and Zach Ross, did a nice job.
Yeah, they started up by lining up to see what kind of look they would get from Urbandale. Called a timeout, or excuse me, checked off to another play. And they're ready to go again, Mark.
Out of the shotgun, Walding, hand off to Deskin, and he drags tacklers all the way down to the 9-yard line. Tough going in there. The Urbandale defense stiffening up there just a hair as right around the football is Trevor Kim making the stop.
Deskin's a very strong, powerful runner, but the Urbandale man got him right before he could get out of the backfield, so he was never able to put on some moves. There's an official timeout right now, Mark.
I think they sent an Urbandale player out with equipment issues, so the officials gave him time to substitute. And it'll bring up 2nd and goal Dowling at the 9-yard line of Urbandale. Out of the shotgun, it's Kurt Walding. He wears number 13, the Dowling quarterback. He has Deskin in the backfield. Now lateral pass to the right side, swung out, and it's caught that time by the Maroons. And that's Tommy Wanek going towards the pylon, and they're going to say he's out of bounds inside the 5, near the 3-yard line. Wanek, a little swing pass to set up for him, and a nice ball thrown by quarterback Kurt Walding.
Tommy Wanek is the man to go to when we need something. Tommy's a heck of an offensive player. He could be playing defense also, but he really has had a good early season. Jonathan Blith made a nice decision by not blocking a man in the back.
Maroons bringing an extra tight end, Latham in there. Out of the shotgun, Walding, the handoff to Deskin. He slides through, and he's in. Touchdown, Dowling. Cole Deskin from 2 yards out on a 3rd and goal call. Gives Dowling the first score of the night. The Maroons lead it 6-0 with 1:51 to play here in the first quarter, Dave.
That was their inside blast play, and they like that on short yardage with the fullback lead. It's going to be tough to bring Deskin down when he gets going straight ahead. That young man is very powerful.
Tremendous execution there as the Maroons will now attempt the extra point. Alex Heeman in the attempted point. Walding will stay in the hold. And the long snapper's Nick Simpson. The ball is down. The kick is up. And it is good by Heeman. So Dowling strikes first. They go 7 plays, 21 yards, capped off by a Cole Deskin 2-yard touchdown run with 1:51 to play first quarter. It's Dowling 7, Urbandale nothing. You're listening to Dowling Catholic High School football here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Go!
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Valley Stadium. Here's a kickoff by Heeman into the end zone, and it's a touchback. There'll be no return by Urbandale. So the Jayhawks now will be on offense, 1st and 10 from their own 20 as they go left to right in front of us towards the south end zone here at Valley Stadium. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoule, and yes, Brian Morris does exist, and we'll see if we got everything worked out in his mic as Dowling goes 7 plays, 21 yards, capped off by a Cole Deskin 2-yard run, but that was set up by Jack Kerner's punt return of 35 yards, Brian.
Yeah, and Dowling did a nice job, Mark and Dave, of just mixing up the offense. A lot of quarterback sneaks. They got Tommy Wanick. They got Deskin involved. They made a throw to John Bliss. So they're getting a lot of guys involved tonight. And it looks J.T. Brown, he's warming up on the sidelines, and we didn't know if they were going to flip-flop quarterbacks after 2 series or not.
Well, right now they have, and now on 1st down for Urbandale, loose football again. And, Dave, that's the second time we've heard that tonight. The crowd kind of a little hush in the crowd. And loose football, but Urbandale recovers it, and they may have gained about 5 yards on the play.
Well, Rice was running an option with his fullback. Rice wanted to pull the ball, but the fullback took it, and they were fighting for it. It ended up on the ground, but it bounced right back up to the fullback, who is number 25, Alex Newberg.
All right, so it is 1st down, or 2nd down and 5, Urbandale from their own 25-yard line. Minute 10 left to play in the first quarter. Urbandale with their broken bone formation, and now here's the end around as the give is to the tailback, Javon Burnside, for the first time, and he's running around all over the backfield, but now makes his way, and he's going to lose 5 yards, Dave. They're going to knock him out of bounds back to the original line of scrimmage. The previous play, that'd be the 20-yard line, loss of 5.
Well, that was about a 30-yard run, actually, but he
kept it interesting.
You know, what that shows is that's a great job by this Dowling defense with containing and not letting him get the corner, or with his speed. Dowling's going to have a tough time catching up to that young man. So nice job by the Dowling defense.
All right, it'll bring up 3rd down, and they're going to say 9 for the Jayhawks after a loss of 5 by the young freshman Javon Burnside. 645 pounds is Burnside. As the quarterback back to throw, and that's Rice. Now he's being chased. His hit as he throws it. The ball nearly intercepted at the 25-yard line. Nice job that time by the Maroons' Moses Duwall. The intended receiver for the Jayhawks was Blake Lang, who they've worked, who's got 2 catches in this contest already. And we got a penalty flag down at the line of scrimmage, Dave, but incomplete. It should be 4th and 9, depending on the penalty.
Yeah, Moses is only 5'6", Mark, so those are real small, 5'6", 150. Oh, they're calling roughing the passer.
Yeah, roughing the passer on Dowling Catholic. And as I said, the quarterback got hit as he threw, and it'll be an automatic 1st down. So, Brian Morris, I know you're on the sideline. That's a tough break for the Dowling defense because they got in the backfield once again and hurried that play.
Yeah, I don't know if it was really late, guys. It seemed to be, I was watching it, it seemed to be fairly good timing by the defensive lineman, but the referee's calling a little close.
Yeah, so you got to be mindful of that. And, of course, with the concussion injuries that go on in this game, you got to be very careful. So it'll bring up an automatic 1st down for Urbandale, 15-yard penalty, personal foul on Dowling. And a 1st down Jayhawks from their own 36. They run the option play. Quarterback George Rice trying to turn the corner, and he does, but he only gets a couple yards. They're going to spot him down up to the 39-yard line, gain of 6 as they run the option right that time, Dave.
And Stevie Johnson was the first one to get a hand on him and almost stripped the ball from Rice on that play.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter here at Valley Stadium. That's the final play of the first quarter. Along with Dave Marcoule and Mark Amadale, you're listening to high school football and watching high school football on the webcast, iowacatholicradio.com. You can stream the webcast, click on the live button, and you can watch the audio and video portions of this contest. Into the first quarter, it's Dowling 7, Urbandale nothing. We'll be back after these messages here on the
Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas.
Cut!
What?
Action!
We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on.
Cut! Action!
Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, size, your style, we've got it all.
Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoullier, and Brian Morris. And Mr. Marcoullier, the towel's wet. You got a towel tonight.
Well, I need it up here. There's not much of a breeze in this little cubbyhole we're in, Mark.
Dowling Catholic High School broadcasts are brought to you with support of construction professionals. Construction professionals, they work with you to transform a house into your home online at cpcustomhomes.com. And Dowling Webcasting brought to you by Triplet Office Essentials for printing and promotional products, interior solutions. That's Triplet Office Essentials, 109th Street in Urbandale. First play of the second quarter and a 3rd and 7 for the Jayhawks as Dowling leads at 7-0, Dave Marcoullier.
Straight dive to the left side of the line. Nico Scigliano, once again, Mark, down at the bottom of the pile making the tackle.
Yeah, Urbandale keeping the ball on the ground, and when they've passed it, they've looked to the big guy, Blake Lang, number 80, 6'2", 185-pound junior. Now it's 3rd and 4 for the Jayhawks. Option play to the right. Rice with the pitch, and I think it's Nayu with it. He turns the corner, and he's swallowed under by maroon jerseys, Dave, and he doesn't get the first down. He's caught at the 43.
Well, Jacob Schneedenhill did a great job of containing and making the tackle along with a host of other Maroons. Brings up a 4th down punting situation for Urbandale.
The Jayhawks now will set the punt.
We know this Urbandale team can score. They put up 68 points last week, but they're going to go against a little bit different defense this week.
And Jack Kerner back for Dowling wearing number 20, 6'1", 185-pound junior. Gets the punt away, and St. John's punt's going to go out of bounds.
Very short kick.
On the far sideline inside the 30-yard line, and we got a penalty flag down. And where do you see that? At the 41-yard line,
at the bottom. They called it right at the snap.
10:37 to play. We just started the second quarter. It's Dowling leading 7-0 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. Procedure call against Urbandale, and Dowling will refuse it and take the football. So Brian Morris, we go to our Shields sideline report with Brian Morris. Maroons are going to have pretty good field position here.
They really are, guys. And one of the things that Urbandale is doing, and they're noticeably taking about 30 seconds off that clock every time on the offensive end. So they're trying to the game out so that the Maroons don't get the ball as much.
All right, Dowling with a first down at the 30-yard line. Want to thank our sponsors, which include Dental Associates, 6 family dentists, and an oral surgeon addressing your smile needs and dreams at 3700 Westtown Parkway, West Des Moines. And Dowling Webcasting, brought to you by the Eye Care of Iowa. For nearly 35 years, Eye Care of Iowa provided family eye care to 3 generations of Iowa families. Dowling on first down, J.T. Brown at quarterback. As the Maroons are going to alternate, and Brown, the other senior, keeps the football and gets it up to the 35-yard line.
That was the off-tackle power once again with the backside guard pulling on that play, Pete Ryan.
Maroons in their hurry-up offense, 3 receivers right. Brown out of the shotgun, fires a pass, lateral pass out of the backfield, and that is caught nicely by Aaron Craw. Does a spin move, and he may get up near a first down. They're going to spot him down just short of the 40-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd and short, Dave.
And how about this? J.T. Brown coming in, throwing his first pass, putting it right on the numbers.
4-yard reception, 3rd and 1 Maroons. Quarterback sneak by Brown, and J.T. just follows his offensive line, much like the big guy for Urbandale, Chancellor House at center. Well, the Maroon center, Matthew Bates, 6'2", 215. Zach Ross and Pete Ryan find a seam and give Brown a first down as J.T. followed his center. So it's 1st and 10, Dowling at the 42, gain of 3 by Brown, and now on first down, here's a handoff. The Maroons, Jacob Zachary, he's got the speed. He and Deskin in the backfield, and Zachary now as the Maroons go to a different unit, and he's got a first down inside the 40 of Urbandale.
I think they're going to call this on Dowling possibly. But I tell you, that's first run for Zachary, I believe, tonight, and very nice. Another strong running back for the Dowling Maroons. They're very deep.
It's got to be a legal formation against Dowling.
I think they're calling procedure, Mark.
Well, procedure is also, that would be a dead ball. But nonetheless, it's a penalty against the Maroons, and they'll back them up. Our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School football, underwritten by Dental Associates, along with the Eye Care of Iowa, and Marion Home Care. Marion Home Care providing home care designated for individual needs. Their phone number, 515-221-9155. All right, now penalty or flags, whistles now, and I think Urbandale wants to talk it over. So we'll take a timeout with 9:31 to play here in the second quarter. Dowling 7, Urbandale nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio and Central Iowa Sports Network.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium, West Des Moines. Dowling with the 1st and 15 after the penalty, and Jacob Zachary gets the carry and gets it up to the 40-yard line for a gain of 3. So, Dave, it comes down to 2nd and 12 for the Maroons, but that penalty is hurt in this drive.
And again, with this no-huddle offense, they are ready to go.
They certainly are. Now here's the snap. J.T. Brown at quarterback, fires over to the left side. It's caught at the 35, bowling his way across the 50 and down in the Urbandale territory. Shy of the first down is Stevie Sarcone, the senior for the Maroons, and he'll be about a yard shy. So a lot of that penalty yardage gobbled up there. And it'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Maroons at the Urbandale 49.
And there were 3 receivers up there. J.T. Brown had an option of any of them, and he picked the right man. Just a beautiful read by J.T.
Second catch of the evening by the Dowling tight end, Stevie Sarcone. The Maroons will work out of a pistol with 3rd and 1. J.T. Brown fakes the throw, now keeps the football across the 40, still on his feet and dragged down at the Jayhawk 35 for a Dowling first down, a 14-yard run for J.T. Brown.
I think our Dowling people can begin to see both these quarterbacks are rock solid.
Well, Walden came in and led the Maroons to a touchdown, a 2-yard run by Deskin, and now here's a pass over on the left side. It's caught by the Maroons, and that is Tommy Wanek with the catch and dances down the far sideline and gets it down to the Jayhawk 32 for a gain of 3.
And I'm going to call Wanek the possession receiver. He's the one they want to go to when they need to pick something up.
All right, a 2nd and 8 Maroons from the Jayhawk 33, and here's Brown. They give us the tailback of that. Zachary with it, and Jacob spins around and finally driven down at the 25 of Urbandale, and that should be good enough for a first down, or at least in the neighborhood. And they're not going to give him the first down here, Dave. Let's see.
Boy, Zachary put a move on the linebacker. The linebacker ended up tackling air on that play, Mark. It's beautiful move.
3rd and 1 Dowling.
They're going to measure now.
The 25 and a measurement called. So we got a break in the action. 8:02 to play, first quarter. Dowling 7, the Urbandale nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio with 8:02 to play here in the second quarter. I want to thank the good folks at MetaBank. MetaBank provides personal, home, business, and farm banking services to people throughout this great state of Iowa. Every customer leaves saying, I love my bank at MetaBank, www.metabank.com. And also thank you to Mercy Hospitals and their more than 50 primary care and clinics in the Des Moines area for supporting our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School football. Online at mercydesmoines.org. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcouley as a measurement being done. And Brian Morris, let's go down to our Shield sideline report with Brian Morris.
Yeah, that measurement, guys, that was about 2 inches short.
And you called that, right, Brian?
I did, actually.
I thought you might. That was close. That's why they brought out the sticks. So it's 3rd and 1 Maroons on the 35 of Urbandale. Brown out of the shotgun. He's got Zachary behind him. They give us to Jacob. Bounces outside. He's got the first down. Got one man to beat. Tops a tackle at the 15. Still on his feet. And finally spins down to the 11-yard line. First down Maroons. And Jacob Zachary, Dave Marcouley, is showing some of his skills and giving the Maroons a first down at the Jayhawk 11.
That could be Dowling's strength this year with Kral, Zachary, and now Deskin in. And Deskin's quite a runner also, but not on that particular play.
Cole ran into a bunch of white shirts, and one of them stood him up.
That was Heinrich, I believe.
It
is. Heinrich is in playing defense now.
He's in the goal line defense. That's
yes,
why.
well, he stood Mr. Deskin up. That's quite a battle.
That's a battle of walls, and now the Maroons keep it on the ground, and Deskin gets in the back, hitting the backfield again, and Maroons going backwards. Started at the 11, and now back to the 13-yard line, so a loss on the play again, and Cole can't get going. They bring in the power backs, and Urbandale brings in those extra linemen, and anytime you see Heinrich and Bright and House in the ball game, you know it's not good. Third down and 11 for the Maroons. Dowling can get a first down at the 1.
Watch a pass here to.
All right, here's Brown. Reverse field, goes to his right, looking in the end zone, fires downfield, and the pass incomplete. He had 2 receivers. Sarcone was the long receiver at the back end of the end zone, and he had a receiver going at the goal line, and that was number 82, Cole Shazinski. And Cole's not 100%, I know that, and came in for that one play. So it's 4th and 11, pass incomplete, and the Dowling drive stalls out, and the field goal unit in, and Heeman in to attempt a field goal. They'll spot it just outside the 19, so it'll be a 29-yard field goal attempt by Alec Heeman, wearing number 14. The hold by Kurt Walding, and the snap's Nick Simpson. There's the ball's down, kick is high enough, it's long enough, and it's no good. He pushed it off to the right, so a missed field goal by Urbandale and a missed field goal by Dowling. Jayhawks will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line with 6:47 to play here in the second quarter. Brian Morris, Dowling's drive stalls out, much like an Urbandale drive did earlier.
Yeah, I saw the coaches. They were talking to J.T. Brown. Like handoffs that he gave to Deskin, they were hoping he was going to pull that ball out and take it to the outside because that's where the hole was. So there was a little bit of coaching going on down here.
6:47 to play here in the second quarter. As you're listening to tonight's game on iowacatholicradio.com, along with Central Iowa Sports Network, CISN.TV. We webcast tonight's game. Dowling and Urbandale will be replayed all week on CIS TV, and it'll be a first down Urbandale on their own 20-yard line. And the quarterback remains George Rice. He's went the distance, the junior. They gave us to the fullback, and that's Newberg. And he goes right off center up to about the 23, maybe the 24-yard line. Good gain on the play for the Jayhawks.
Nice tackle by Ross Oddie on that play.
Jayhawks running that wing T type of offense. The fullback right behind the center, right behind the quarterback who is under center, and the wing backs are right outside the tackles. Jayhawks go with 1 receiver left. And here is Rice running the option to give us to Newberg, and he's hit and dropped the line of scrimmage for maybe a yard up to the 25-yard line. It's getting tough in the trenches, Dave. Stephen Johnson, Elias Bell, Ryan Mells in there for Dowling, Bronte Wells on the defensive line, and about a yard gained.
And I've been watching Heinrich, the Division I Arkansas lineman, and he is kind of battling even right now on the line, Mark.
He's at left tackle right now in the big number 75. When we go back to the live shot, as you can see, Dave, and on our webcast, but he lines up at left tackle, does Heinrich. Double tight end situation, 3rd and 5, Urbandale with the receiver left, and we got penalty flags down, a stoppage of play, and I think, I didn't see a flag. We might have a timeout.
Timeout, Urbandale.
And we'll take one ourselves. 5:30 left to play here in the second quarter. It's Dowling 7, Urbandale nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. Back after these messages.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
All right, 3rd down and 5 for Urbandale. We're back in action. Here's the pitch play right side, and a first down by the Jayhawks, running with the football on the right side. and getting pretty good yardage is Vernon Cheatham as he turned the corner and picked up the first down for Urbandale. Coming out of that timeout, they got Cheatham loose on that option play to the right, Dave. First down, Jayhawks.
And that's their offense. They bang, bang, bang against you inside with their big fullback. And every once in a while, they're going to try and pop it outside with some speedy wingbacks that they have. And Dowling has got to be over there and be ready for those.
All right, first down, Urbandale with 5:10 to play, second quarter. Dowling leading 7-0. And that was Cheatham for a gain of 9 and a first down, Urbandale. Now they give to Newberg, and he gets up to the 35-yard line for a gain of 1. So Jayhawks keep that ground game going with that flex bone offense. A little bit of wing T. Dowling fans remember that. Don't see that very often. And it'll bring up second down. They're going to call it 10. No gain in that last one. I'm going to call it a gain of 1, so it's 2nd and 9.
I believe that was Stephen Johnson on the bottom of the pile along with Nico Scigliano.
Yeah, Stephen Johnson, number 55, 6 foot, 240 pounds, senior for Dowling Catholic at nose. All right, the Jayhawks have a 2nd and 8 from their own 36-yard line. Here's a toss play left side, turning to the corner, and is that Nayu or is that Maluski? And Maluski turns the corner, and he's got a first down across the 40 up to the 46-yard line as Cole Deskin, or check that Dowling player shaken up.
Stephen
and I think
Johnson.
That's Stephen Johnson. He might have got his bell rung, it looks like.
Another wingback using his speed to get outside, and that young man is just a freshman, I believe.
DowlingWebcasting.com is brought to you by Dr. Theron Jameson at Jameson Orthopedic Clinic. Offers independent medical examinations for patients in need of caring family orthopedic joint and pain care services located at 2213 Grand Avenue. Dr. Theron Jameson and the folks at Jameson Orthopedic and R&R Realty Group have been solving commercial real estate and business expansion needs since 1985. R&R Realty Group supports our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School football here on Iowa Catholic Radio. R&R Realty Group establishing long-term relationships built on trust. Along with Dave Marcoulé, Mark Amadale, the cast of thousands here on the webcasting, Pete Tarpey's group on the webcasting, of course, behind the scenes here at Iowa Catholic Radio, Kristen Dalen, Greg Richwine, and Brian. And let's see the Dowling player getting up. Let's go down to our Shield sideline report, and that is Brian Morrison. Brian gives an update on the injury to the Dowling player, Stephen Johnson, the nose guard.
Yeah, Stephen Johnson, he was pursuing the ball, and he got hit when he didn't see it. Usually that is a chance for your bell rung. Looking at concussions. He's talking to.
All right, Brian, thanks for that report. We'll get everybody caught up. That was a 10-yard run that time by the Jayhawks. And they now have a first down at the Dowling 46-yard line as Johnson's shaken up. So Jayhawks now with George Rice at quarterback. In motion, G. Nayu. Back to throw Rice. Looking downfield. Wants it all. He's got a man running the fly route. Caught at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Urbandale. As receiver gets loose, and that's Blake Lang. And, Dave, if that's the case, it'll go for a 54-yard touchdown. We got a whistle on a play and a flag down. Let's see what this is all about.
Boy, I tell you, he ran a post route mark, and he just took off on a dead sprint.
Holding on Dowling, touchdown Urbandale. Lang on a 54-yard touchdown reception. Got in the Dowling secondary, ran in that post route, Dave. He came from the right side, and Lang out hustled and outmaneuvered the Dowling defense there.
Rice really did a nice job leading him on that play, putting the ball right where it had to be.
Tremendous call by Sam Anderson.
Very nice play.
And the Urbandale offense is Hunter St. John in to attempt the extra point. The holder will be Dalton Nelson, the backup quarterback, wearing number 18. The center will be Caleb Bright as we're getting set for the extra point. Dowling Webcasting brought to you by Don Brown Properties, A.J. Anderson, and Caldwell Bankers. Don and A.J. support Central Iowa athletics of all kinds, and we thank them for their support tonight during our webcast and our radio broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. All right, extra point coming up as Hunter St. John in. Ball is down and kick is away. And it is good. So all of a sudden, we're tied up at 7. Dowling and Urbandale with 3:57 to play here in the second quarter. Dowling 7, Urbandale 7. Back to Valley Stadium after these messages here on IowaCatholicRadio.com and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, we're the Waters Boys. I'm Todd. And I'm Thad. The best deals on Buick and GMCs are right here at Waters. Waters Autoland, 8 miles south of Des Moines, Indianola.
Catch the wave to Waters. Waters Autoland.
Well, the Jayhawks go 6 plays, 80 yards in their drive, capped off by quarterback George Rice throwing an 54-yard touchdown pass to number 80, Blake Lang for Urbandale. Now the kickoff into the end zone. Touchback, there'll be no return. Both kickers tonight have done a great job in kicking off, Dave, and getting touchbacks, so not getting those speedsters any opportunity for either team to get going.
Right, and that's unfortunate. I'd like to see these backs for Dowling take it. But, Mark, we were talking off the air about that touchdown play for Urbandale. Rice had one receiver. The quarterback had one receiver. He was looking for him all the way. It was just a dead sprint, a beautiful pass, beautiful route for a touchdown for Urbandale.
And Brian Morris, as we go down to our Shields sideline report. Brian, this is a whole new ball game. Tied at 7, Dowling and Urbandale. Final 4 minutes of the first half.
It really was, guys. I felt like the momentum was on Dowling's side, then that missed extra point. A couple big runs for Urbandale, then that backbreaker 50-yard touchdown. But the Maroons, if they can score before half here.
The Maroons on a double reverse. Now the give is to Tommy Wanek around left end. Spins out of a tackle to 35 and driven down at the Dowling 40. And that's a good enough for a Maroon first down. A 20-yard run for Wanek, but that was well set up in the backfield by the Maroons.
Yeah, that was the flanker reverse. Wanek did a nice job on that. I know Coach always worries about the handoff. T.J. Brown, or J.T. Brown, tried to get a block for him, but just couldn't quite get it, and Wanek was taken down.
All right, J.T. Brown at quarterback out of the shotgun. Steps back and now runs with the football. Turn around right in. Still on his feet. He's tripped up right at the 46-yard line for a gain of 6 for the Maroons.
And so far, if we take a look at these two quarterbacks, Mark, it appears to me that J.T. Brown likes to run the ball a little bit more than Kurt Walding for the little bit that we've seen each.
Keep in mind, they both didn't get a whole lot of reps behind Ryan Boyle last year, and then J.T. got hurt in a Roosevelt game, banged up his shoulder.
Oh,
so
there he is.
And now back to throw is Brown, and he is tripped up at midfield, and he checked down, Dave, didn't see the receiver open for Dowling, and now a penalty flag down back at the 44-yard line, and we'll see what this is all about.
Oh, that's too bad. Stevie Sarcone was wide open on the backside down the field.
And holding on Dowling.
And Wilson is not going to like these mistakes, mental mistakes that Dowling is making tonight.
Maroons interchanging their lineup right now.
They had a big run by Zachary earlier that was called back because of a mistake. And now holding on this play.
Marches the ball back to the officials marked it off right now, back to the 35-yard line. So 10-yard penalty, a hold from the spot of the foul. So Brown will set up with 2 receivers left and 2 to the right. In the backfield, Cole Deskin for the Maroons. 3:05 to play on the game clock here in the first half. Tied at 7. Back to throw Brown. Looks downfield. Now throws a lateral pass to Deskin out of the backfield. Heading for the far sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds right around the 41-yard line. A pick up a 6 for the Maroons.
And that was his check-off receiver. His first 2 options were not open, so he threw it to Deskin. That's an area where Cole Deskin has really shown some improvement, Mark, on catching the football. Last year, he probably would have dropped that, not this year.
Stops the clock with 2:57 left in the first half, and at halftime, we'll catch up with the brand new Dowling principal, Matt Maindering, will join us here at halftime, and look forward to visit with him. Back to throw is Brown. So trying to set up the screen now. That's broken up. JT in the backfield and now just slides up to the 39-yard line, and he loses ground, and we got a late flag. We might have a late hit on Urbandale as the play went for a 2-yard loss by Brown, but we may have something after this, Dave.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a screen to Cole Deskin, but either he couldn't see him or he didn't feel he was open enough to throw the ball, so he did what he should and he ran it. Face mask on Urbandale.
Personal foul on the Jayhawks. Brian Morris for our Shields sideline report. Let's go down to Brian right now.
Yeah, one thing I think JT Brown is, you know, he hasn't got a lot of experience, guys, and that's one of the things that until you get into a game situation, you don't know how you're going to react out there, and it does look like he's pulling the ball a little quick and trying to scramble out instead of looking through all his options.
Yeah, keep in mind for Dowling, this is their first live action as the other teams got underway last week. Now Brown back to throw, fires it off near side, and it's caught by the receiver, Jonathan Bliss, and he kind of dances along the sideline. Bliss number 80 for Dowling, and he's up to the 42 of Urbandale, gain of 3. A short gain there on that sideline pattern, Dave.
Jonathan Bliss, an excellent receiver for Dowling Catholic, runs very good routes and has a nice pair of hands.
2nd and 7 Maroons as we approach the 2-minute mark. Brown out of the shotgun. They give us to Cole Deskin, and he runs into a wall and the 40-yard line. He'll be slammed down there for a gain of 2.
Yeah, these linebackers for Urbandale are really doing a nice job, Mark. They're coming up and putting shots on these running backs, and that's something the coaches will see. If they keep coming up, that'll open up that middle for pass routes.
All right, it's 3rd down and 6 for the Maroons. Line of scrimmage is the 41-yard line. Here is Brown, fakes the pass, now keeps it, runs to the left side, and he's inside the 35. He's got the first down to the Jayhawk 33-yard line.
Well, Urbandale came with a 3-man front that time, and they stunted the middle linebacker, and they've been doing a lot of blitzing this quarter against Dowling Catholic. Now they're back to their 4-man front.
And as I pay attention to the play clock, Maroons snapping at 25 seconds. Back to throw, Brown fires in the end zone. It's caught, touchdown Maroons. That's Tommy Wanek. He did just what Urbandale did, Dave. He got right behind the secondary, and Wanek with the touchdown reception from J.T. Brown of 33 yards, and the Maroons go up 13-7 with 1:27 to play here in the first half.
And Wanek made it easy for J.T. Brown because he didn't have to check any other options. He saw his first option. Wanek was wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Dowling.
Well, J.T. Brown didn't get the start, but he got the first touchdown pass by a Dowling quarterback this year. Cole Deskin had the other rushing touchdown for the Maroons. The extra point is up, and it's good by Heeman. So with 1:27 to play here in the first half, Dowling 14, Urbandale 7, along with Dave Marcoullier and Brian Morris. This is Mark Amadeo, and you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Action!
Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas.
Cut!
What?
Action!
We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on.
Cut! Action!
Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need
Cut!
you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
Dowling, the Maroons scoring on a Tommy Wanek 33-yard touchdown pass from quarterback J.T. Brown, Dave Marcoullier, and Dowling up 14-7, and now here's Heeman. And it's a squib kick, and it's fielded by one of the upbacks for Urbandale at about the 25-yard line. He puts his head down and gets across the 30. Dowling making sure they didn't want to give up a long return as the upback that time for Urbandale with a nice return for the Jayhawks, and that's Vernon Cheatham, one of the upbacks. So let's go down the Dowling sideline. That's our Shields sideline report all season long. Brian Morris is there. Brian, give us a report. The Maroons up 14-7.
You know, Tommy Wannick, what he did there, guys, is he did an out and up. He went on the out, and the cornerback bid on that, and he was wide open. But a great route run by Tommy Wannick. And coming into this year, we heard he was going to be the playmaker, and he proved it on that play.
All right, here is Urbandale with the football, and they run it up the gut on that broken bone formation. The fullback gets the football, Dave, in a very short gain from the and they're going to line up right at the 33. No gain in the play.
Ross Audie really coming up, making a nice solo tackle. And, Mark, I think what they're really trying to do here is they go to that fullback. I think they're trying to set up the wing-back option here, pitch.
All right, Jayhawks have it. Back to throw is Rice, looking downfield. Fires the ball downfield, trying to throw in a double coverage, and it's incomplete. The Maroons did a great job on coverage there. Broke it up nicely at about midfield, Dave.
Beautiful play by Jack Kerner, knocking the ball down for an incomplete pass. Beautiful job.
2nd and 10, Jayhawks. Line of scrimmage is the 35-yard line. They got 3 yards on first down, and that was it. And now official signal ready for play. Game clock stopped at 46 seconds. Timeout situation, Dowling with 2 timeouts left, and the Jayhawks with 1.
Not sure why Urbandale did that. They ran the clock down to 5 seconds mark with 45 seconds left in the half and called timeout.
All right, we'll keep it here. The score, Dowling 14, Urbandale 7. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoule, and Brian Morris. We'll go down to Brian here in a moment. We want to recognize our supporters and underwriters and our sponsors here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network, the St. Gregory Treat Centers. Appreciate them underwriting our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School football. St. Gregory Treat Center, the new standard for recovery in substance abuse. Online at stgregoryct.com. And DowlingWebcasting.com is brought to you by Windmail USA and Wind Communications. Windmail USA and Wind Communications provide web marketing, email marketing, and permission-based email services. That's www.windcommunications.com. Thank you for supporting Dowling Catholic football. Let's go down to our Shields sideline report, and that is Brian Morris. Brian, give us an update.
You know, Dave, I think why they did that is he's just given the Urbandale coach is just giving his team a little bit more time to catch their breath. There's a lot of guys on the line, especially playing a little bit of defense, and it is really warm down here, guys. There's not a lot of wind circulating, so it's affecting these players.
All right, Brian, appreciate that. Of course, you'll catch up with head coach Tom Wilson at halftime, the Dowling Catholic coach, and get an update. Here's a toss play right side, and that is Javon Burnside, the freshman, trying to turn the corner, and he gets it up to about the 38-yard line, where Dowling calls a timeout with 40 seconds to play. Maroons burn one of their 2 remaining timeouts, Dave.
And Urbandale's fullback on that play, Alex Newberg, tried to kick out Jacob Hummel. Hummel did a great job playing off the block and making the solo tackle.
All right,
that's the second time he's done that tonight.
Timeout on the field. We'll take one ourselves. 40 seconds to play in the first half. 14-7 is our score. Dowling over Urbandale. Back with more after these messages on IowaCatholicRadio.com and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
All right, we're back here at Valley Stadium, West Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoule, Brian Morris, and a punt by Urbandale, but Jack Kerner and a nice return all the way down to the Dowling 45. So, Dave, with 28 seconds to play, the Dowling offense will have an opportunity to get the 2-minute drill in. Back to throw is Kurt Walding in at quarterback. He fires it out, caught by Stevie Sarcone inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Stevie Sarcone, that's his third catch as a tight end.
Well, he flanked out and ran just a little short post pattern, and Walding put it right on the numbers.
At the Urbandale 38, and now Walding back to throw in the pocket, almost slips, regains his balance, and just throws it away to save a play with 13 seconds to play. They'll stop the clock now with 12 seconds. Dowling has one timeout in their back pocket, and Dave and Brian, I know the Maroons would love to get in that red zone and attempt a field goal to get 3 points or to add another touchdown.
Yeah, they absolutely.
And that's what you have to think.
Yeah, Brian, I know the Maroons, when they threw that ball out of bounds, that just saved him a play, it seemed like.
It did, but about 7 seconds went off.
Yeah, all right, here is Walding out of the shotgun, looks over the middle, and he fires it, and the pass is incomplete. Tried to hit Wanek, and there was a collision, and no flag, and incomplete at the 20-yard line with 7 seconds to play. So the Maroons down to near their final play of the first half. Dowling 14, Urbandale 7. 7 seconds remaining here at halftime.
Well, that's what the coaches have to kind of decide here. Do they want to play for a field goal and just get half the distance, or go for the whole thing? And it remains to be seen yet, Mark.
Yep, Deskin in the backfield. He'll wear number 5. And here is Walding back to throw. He's going to air it out. He's going to throw it into the end zone. He's got Sarcone in there and Bliss, and it's incomplete through everybody. And that'll be the end of the first half with the score. Dowling 14, Urbandale 7 alongside Dave Marcooley. This is Mark Amadale. Brian Morris is down on the sideline, and we're going to catch up with head coach Tom Wilson. I know Brian is efforting him as the teams make their way to the sideline. But Dave, before we let you go, a very warm first half as Brian gets set for the interview.
Yeah, it was a very warm first half, and I don't know if there's air conditioning in those locker rooms or not. But Brian is ready to go down.
All right, Brian, take it away with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling.
Coach, defensively, Dowling has held this team pretty much in check besides that one play. You got to be pleased with the defensive effort.
Well, they've done a good job. You know, we did, as you mentioned, we give up the big play, and to be honest with you, sometimes that could happen, and so you have to play the next down. It was nice that we could answer it and come back and get a score.
I think offensively we've called about 8 different guys just trying to get their feet wet, and it looks like you're keeping Urbandale off balance. You just haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone maybe as much as you'd like.
Right. If we punch it in where we miss the field goal, it's a different game right now. But give Urbandale credit for that, and you know, we get the ball first here in the second half, and hopefully we can put one in the end zone.
What have you seen out of the quarterbacks this first half, their first live action?
Really, some good and some bad out of both of them. And it was kind of nice to see JT made a lot of good decisions on that drive where we scored, so that was good to see. Kurt's done some good things as well, so hopefully we'll keep going with him and see what happens.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that's Brian Morris catching up with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic as we are at halftime. It's Dowling 14, Urbandale 7. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcooley, and Dave, you heard some of the comments from Coach Wilson, and it'd be interesting to see what kind of adjustments are made before we go to our halftime break.
Yeah, it really will. John, you can see Urbandale's game plan is to really pound inside behind those big linemen they have. And they have the speed to get outside. Dowling has just done a nice job, those outside linebackers, of containing and not letting them turn the corner. Both quarterbacks not bad this first half for their first game, and I look for them to get better. Dowling coaches always do a nice job making adjustments at halftime, so we'll see what happens, Mark.
I think folks will be in the stands will be getting cooled down here at halftime, Dave. They'll probably go to their favorite beverage stop, which is right below us in the concession stand, to get cooled off. But got a little breeze flowing through here.
Yeah.
And hey, we're getting caught up with one of the administrators. We come back, folks, on webcast and on radio. We're going to catch up with Matt Maindering, the brand new principal here at Dowling Catholic High School.
I have met him. He's a great man. The first thing you got to do is learn how to pronounce his name.
It's Maindering.
No, you did, but when you look at it, it sure doesn't look like that. But Matt's a great guy. He's going to do a nice job from Western Iowa, and I saw him in his office the other day, and he was hard at it.
All right.
So he'll do a good job.
We'll visit with him next. You're listening to Dowling Catholic Football here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and Central Iowa Sports Network. Our halftime score, Dowling 14, Urbandale 7. Back after these messages.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
At Mid-American Energy, part of putting power in your hands is helping to keep families safe. That's why Mid-American provides free educational safety programs to schools, asks you to call 811 before you dig, have annual furnace inspections, and be aware of hazards at home. Mid-American Energy safely delivers electricity and natural gas to us in good times and stormy ones. That's Mid-American Energy.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
And welcome back to the Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoulé, Brian Morris. Halftime score, Urbandale and Dowling hooked up in a battle. Dowling leads 14-7 here at halftime. As I'm joined by the brand new principal at Dowling Catholic High School in his first year. Came from Sheldon, Iowa, where he's there many years, and that is Matt Mandering. And Matt, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to Dowling, and welcome to Valley Stadium.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure. You know, you're truly blessed to be a part of a school like this with such a rich tradition and in academics and activities and athletics, and it's a pretty special place. So it's been a lot of fun getting to know everybody and to make my way around and get to meet people and the kids and the parents. It's been a truly whirlwind tour here over the last few months.
For our folks watching on the webcast and listening to IowaCatholicRadio.com, they want to know not only what you look like, we'll just go to the webcast you can see, but your background, because you've coached a little bit along with being a principal up in Sheldon, Iowa, and Northwest Iowa.
Yeah, I think it's a face for radio, Mark. I don't know. You know, I did. I spent the last 16 years at Sheldon, and I was the high school principal there for the last 8. The previous 8, I was a business teacher there, and then the last 11 years, I was the head football coach. I've coached football all my life and a number of other sports along the way, but the last 11 I've been on the sidelines, and this is my first game not on the sideline in 24 years. But I was ready for a break. It's okay. It's good. It's a good position to be. A lot less stressful. I know that.
Well, you and your family. Let's talk a little about your family, your wife and kids, and moving from Sheldon, Iowa to Central Iowa.
It's been a great move for my wife and I. We have 3 kids, and my oldest boy is actually on the coaching staff at Spirit Lake High School, so he's up there working tonight, and so we get kind of torn. We got you get a football family, you got a lot of things going on, and he's a special ed teacher up there at the middle school, and I got my middle son Ben is a student at the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point, and my daughter is a sophomore at South Dakota State in Brookings. So we've got our house empty for ourselves right now, and so my wife Lisa and I have acclimated and learning our way around Des Moines, and I think it's going to be it's a great thing for us.
Again, our guest is Matt Mandering. He is the brand new principal at Dowling Catholic High School in his first year, replacing Dr. Jim Dowdle, who, by the way, is still on staff.
Yeah.
You're his boss, and he's teaching English after 28 years as a principal at Dowling.
You know, it's a great thing because I have this great resource, this great library of knowledge right there in the school with me every day, and it's been a great transition. He's just so entrenched in the academics and everything else, and really was a part of the fabric at Dowling Catholic, and just an outstanding individual. And it's been, he's helped a lot with the transition, and it's gone outstanding.
Well, Matt, talk about the transition coming from Sheldon, Iowa, and
Yep.
I don't know what your enrollment was up there, to Dowling Catholic High
Yeah.
School, and what Dr. Deegan told me was like 1,400 students and growing.
Yep.
A little bit different culture there.
A little bit different culture. You know, we Northwest Iowa, Sheldon, Iowa, we're a 2A school, and so we had 330 kids in our high school, and so now we just got to take it times 4, and you know, it's
pretty simple.
Pretty simple. You know, and the transition. You know, it's funny because I was here. I came down in June already, and spent some time with some kids in July at a leadership thing, and you know, to hear their concerns and their issues about school, a lot of the same things. It's just in a bigger venue, and you know, you talk about great kids, and with the faith background and that foundation that's built for them, really makes a great place to teach and help kids learn and grow.
Well, it certainly does, and I'm sure the Dowling community has welcomed you in your transition. The staff there at Dowling is incredible, and we had our class reunion back a few weeks ago, and Dr. Deegan gave us the class of 80 and a different class that had our reunion, Matt, a tour of the building, and it's just phenomenal, all the different, it's not the expansion, and you're coming into almost the finished product right now after this phase. I think we're in phase 3.
You know, Dr. Deegan has stated that, you know, it's almost like we've opened up a new chapter, and you know, not that and it's, I don't call it a better or anything, it's just the next transition, and it's just the beautiful building right now, and that chapel is just impressive to be inside of it, and it really is a peaceful place to go and get in touch and move yourself on that faith journey. The building is just outstanding. We just got finally moved into our offices, and so all the moving is complete, and everything's in place, and it's really an outstanding place. So any alumni or anybody else that wants to come and visit, it's an outstanding place. You have to come and see the makeover.
Again, we're visiting with Matt Mandering. He is the brand new principal at Dowling Catholic High School. As we are at halftime, Dowling leading Urbandale 14-7 in this high school football game. I want to thank some of our supporters and sponsors. They include Two Rivers Glass and Door, providing commercial glass and aluminum storefronts and custom and specialty glass for your homes. Online at tworiversglass.com. And Jethro's Barbecue, a proud supporter of Dowling Catholic High School and activities before or after the game. Jethro's always has plenty of smoked meats, ribs, wings at 6 metro locations, including Altoona, Ankeny, Johnston, Waukee, West Des Moines, and the original Jethro's at Drake, on Drake University on Forest Avenue. That's Jethro's. I want to thank our sponsors here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Amadale, Matt Mandering here at halftime. And Matt, I've got to ask you, there's got to be a story. You haven't been at Dowling long. School just got underway, but maybe it was in the transition when you came down here for the interview or something. What's been a memorable moment from a Dowling standpoint that you've encountered?
You know, that's a great question. You know, I think the thing that takes over is when you walk in the building and the feel that you get, and how the students are, you know, they are polite and welcoming and everything that we do. I think, you know, as the days go on, you know, it's an interesting thing, because there's a lot of people that we've traded that have ties back to Northwest Iowa. So it's an interesting thing. You know, Coach Wilson and I spent our first year of college together, lived on the same floor. We lived about 5 doors down from each other. And, you know, there's a lot of people that you find ties as you go along. So it's been, that kind of transition has been good. And you know, over 2 weeks, I can't think of something that's going to come out and say, wow, it's just been the whole experience. The whole experience in itself has just been outstanding.
Now, we've got to talk about the staff. I know a few of these teachers there and administrators, the folks you have to work with. But I'll tell you one person that's just great to work with, and that's Mary Pick.
Yes.
She is.
Yes.
She is Dowling.
She is Dowling. And you talk about someone with a lot of energy and a lot of spirit. That lady has it. Mary's a special woman, and you know, it's just we have a dynamic office now that when we come into the place, you're greeted by the 2 secretaries, Denise Rourke, my secretary, and Coach Wilson's secretary, and Mary. And you talk about a woman that's got her hands on the pulse there in the athletic department. She knows everything that's going on, and especially this time of year when Coach Wilson's got little things on the side going on that she kind of keeps things in order.
Well, Matt, we certainly appreciate you.
You bet.
Visiting with us here at halftime. I know you've got some friends probably out there that may be around Central Iowa or Northwest Iowa. They can watch it on the webcast. Anybody you want to say hello to?
Well, I can say hi to my wife. I'm sure she's watching now. And I think, you know, my parents may be watching back home too. You know, there's a number of graduates spread upon the year that are Sheldon Orbs running around here, but we had to retire the orange and the black. You talk about one story that when I came down for the interview and everything else, one thing about Sheldon is, you know, we are orange and black, and I learned before I came down for the interview that I couldn't wear any orange and black down here. and I had to buy my first maroon tie because our biggest rivals wear maroon in the northwest corner. So I've got my closet's getting a shift, and it's really been a fun transition.
Matt, come to Drake Stadium in about 2 weeks. You'll see a lot of orange and black.
Yeah, I know
also
it.
see some maroon and white.
I've got it buried.
Matt, thanks for joining
You
us.
bet.
Welcome to
I
Dowling
appreciate it,
Catholic
Mark.
High School. Appreciate having
All
you
right.
on.
You bet.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
We'll take a break here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. Halftime score, Dowling 14, Urbandale 7, and we'll return after these messages.
Hi, we're the Waters Boys. I'm Todd. And I'm Thad. The best deals on Buick and GMCs are right here at Waters. Waters Autoland, 8 miles south of Des Moines, Indianola.
Catch the wave to Waters. Waters Autoland.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Action!
Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas.
Cut!
What?
Action!
We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on.
Cut! Action!
Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing. Your size, your style, we've got it all.
Hi, we're the Waters Boys. I'm Todd. And I'm Thad. The best deals on Buick and GMCs are right here at Waters. Waters Autoland, 8 miles south of Des Moines, Indianola.
Catch the wave to Waters. Waters Autoland.
And we're back here on the Central Iowa Sports Network and IowaCatholicRadio.com, 88.5, 94.5, and 1150 a.m. in Des Moines. Mark Amadeo along with Dave Marcoullier. Brian Morris also joined us as we are at halftime. Dowling leading Urbandale 14-7 on this very warm night. And I want to thank not only our sponsors and underwriters, but all you folks out there. If you hear one of our reads tonight, one of our underwriters or sponsors, let them know you heard or watched the game on Iowa Catholic Radio or the Central Iowa Sports Network. That's very important as we continue doing this. We'll be webcasting all of Dowling's home games this year. As Urbandale and Dowling both have made their way back on the field as we're in the final 3 minutes before the second half. Let's go down to the sidelines. That's where Brian Morris is at. And Brian, I know you've had a chance to kind of regroup, and now you're instead of being left alone, now you've got people down there with you. But give us your impressions of the first half.
You know, I thought the defense guys looked really, really good tonight. They have gotten into the – are making the plays like we thought they needed to. Offensively, you know, offense is always a little bit behind defense, and one of the things is they're – and I'm hoping coming out of this first half, if they come down and score that, I think we're going to see Kurt Walding back at quarterback. I think it's his turn. I think that's something we just want to watch as the year goes on because that's a tough situation for anybody to just kind of share those duties. And that's my take in this first half. But, you know, Urbandale's had a game under their belts. Dowling hasn't. You could tell with some of those penalties in the first half, there's a little jitters going on and worked out before, you know, 15,000 people in 2 weeks at Valley Stadium.
All right, that's a good point, Brian. And David, you know, you can echo that as you look at the scoring. 3 touchdowns, 2 by Dowling, 1 by Urbandale. The Maroons, a rushing touchdown by Cole Deskin. That drive was led by Kurt Walding at quarterback. And then the Maroons scoring with 1:27 left to go in the first half. And J.T. Brown hooking up with Tommy Wanek from 33 yards. So a rushing touchdown led by the first quarterback, and the number 2 quarterback, J.T. Brown, throwing for the second. Urbandale's lone scorer, a Blake Lang 54-yard touchdown reception from quarterback George Rice that tied the game at 7 with just under 4 minutes to play in the half, and the Maroons responded with 1.5 minutes to play to take the lead. So we've seen both offenses rise to the occasion, but we've seen both defenses play pretty outstanding this evening.
Yeah, we really have. Offensively, and Dowling's very deep in the running back position. We haven't even seen Crawl in there very much tonight, but we did see Zachary come in, and Jacob Zachary, did a very nice job. 3-4 straight plays, picking up some nice yardage. So Dowling's very deep in the running back position, and like you said, Mark, defense have played very well. I thought Urbandale linebackers are really doing a nice job of coming up and taking on the inside game of Dowling. And likewise, the front seven of Dowling, very tough, doing a great job on this big offensive line for Urbandale.
Well, for the Maroons, they've rotated quarterbacks, as we told you. Kurt Walding got the start, and he led the Maroons to a touchdown drive. And then J.T. Brown came in, and he led the Maroons also on a touchdown drive. So it's even Steven at quarterback, as we've looked at some of the game situation, both teams on the field, final minute. Support for Dowling Catholic High School is provided by G&L Clothing, a real clothing store with real people selling regular big and tall clothing for almost a century. And that is G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines, gnlclothing.com. And tonight's game brought to you in part by Schottenkirk Chevrolet. For new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs, Schottenkirk Chevy at 755 West Hickman Road in Waukee. SchottenkirkChevy.net. They're open 9 to 8 Monday through Saturday. We'll take a break and come back with the start of the second half. You're listening to and watching Dowling Catholic football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
At Mid-American Energy, part of putting power in your hands is helping to keep families safe. That's why Mid-American provides free educational safety programs to schools, asks you to call 811 before you dig, have annual furnace inspections, and be aware of hazards at home. Mid-American Energy safely delivers electricity and natural gas to us in good times and stormy ones. That's Mid-American Energy.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
underwritten by Learning RX, brain training and cognitive skills testing, helping children think, remember, read, and learn better. Train the brain, get smarter at 4949 Westtown Parkway, Learning RX in West Des Moines. They also have another location in Ankeny at 1205 North Ankeny Boulevard. For more information, learningrx.com. And Cody Pearson is the injured Jayhawk. And if he's injured or he's cramping up, Brian, let's go down to our Shields sideline report with Brian Morris.
Yeah, I just talked about nobody had cramped yet and come out of halftime and 5 plays in and there's a cramping going on. But, yeah, Dowling has seen something with that pass to Bliss there, and they're pulling out, as Dave said, a tackle. He is just 1 block away every time. And what they're doing is they're going to set up, and I guarantee you Stevie Sarcone is going to catch something in the middle of that field because it is opening up huge right now.
All right, thank you, Brian, as Cole Shazinski, along with Tommy Wanek, split out wide to the left of the formation for Dowling Catholic, and they got a stacked receivers to the right, Dave. J.T. Brown at quarterback, and Cole Deskin is right behind him out of the fullback. Here's Brown looking near side, and it's caught by Bliss. He gets a block, and he's down inside the 25, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds right around the 23-yard line for a gain of 4.
And I notice Urbandale is playing a lot of their big men in here, Mark. Jacob Heinrich is in there along with Derek Mowry, both huge inside.
All right, 2nd and 6 Dowling at the Urbandale 23. Back to throw is Brown, looking left. Now wants to throw in the end zone. He's got a man open on the far sideline. That reaches up, and it is incomplete. They rule him out of bounds as the pass was caught out of bounds by the Dowling receiver on that far sideline. And it looks like it's number 82, and that coming up for the Maroons is Cole Shazinski. But he had it, Dave. He caught it, but he caught it out of bounds.
Yeah, he did catch it. It was a nice, he faked the short pass, threw it deep, but it was about 1 step too far.
Well, after 4 straight completions, that's an incomplete pass by J.T. Brown to bring up 3rd down and 6 Maroons from the Jayhawk 23. Dowling leading 14-7 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Webcasting. Here's a handoff to Cole Deskin, following his blockers inside the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Cole Deskin from 23 yards. And Dave, he did not outrun his lineman. He waited for his blocks. That's a great job of discipline by Cole Deskin, who waited for his offensive line as the Maroons ran around right end.
But unfortunately, there's a flag down in the right around the line of scrimmage, Mark. I'm not sure what they're going to call. And I was watching that beautiful run by Cole.
And there is a flag, unfortunately, down, as you
mentioned. A long discussion, so it wasn't something simple, like offsides or...
Yeah, here's the referees as the head referee. Chop block, Dowling. See where they're going to spot that from, so that'll move the Maroons back. 9:07 to play, 3rd quarter, Dowling 14, Urbandale 7 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports.
Boy, I have a little TV monitor right in front of me. I wish we had replays because I sure
just
would
hit the
like to
replay
see.
button. It's the remote on the right. Just hit the replay. No, it doesn't work that way.
I would love to see that.
Official's going to mark this off. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by the Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau is the leader in marketplace trust. Before you choose to hire a business, check out the Better Business Bureau. Tonight's game also sponsored by Godfather's Pizza, as we make pizza the way it was meant to be, with veggies, meats, and 100% cheese. For a location near you, go to godfathers.com. 3rd and 21 for the Maroons as they're backed up all the way to their own 39, or to Urbandale 39. Back to throw Brown. He fires over the middle. It's picked off. Picked off by the Jayhawks. Nice job that time by Urbandale as they step right in front of the receiver, Stevie Sarcone. And on the return, that's Eric Miluski on the interception. He takes it up near the 30-yard line, so Dowling turns it over on the interception by Miluski.
And I think they're going to add a face mask on Dowling on top of that interception.
Let's go down to our Shields sideline report with Brian Morris. And Brian, it looked like Miluski stepped right in front of Sarcone on the interception.
It was just a bad throw, too, guys. But I think what they're going to get is Tommy Wanek's helmet came off on there, and he made the tackle without his helmet on. And trust me, I don't know the rules, but as soon as he made the tackle, that's when that flag came in.
Yeah, and the penalty is on Dowling. 8:54 to play, 3rd quarter. The Urbandale offense set to come on the field. Just a matter of where they're going to spot the football as they mark it off. And now it's going to be right around the 40-yard line, Dave. So tough break for the Maroons. They get the ball intercepted and then they tack on 15 more. It'll be 1st and 10, Urbandale from their own 45-yard line.
And when you say tough break, take it a play earlier when they score a touchdown and get called for a chop block.
Yeah, That
and
was Cole
take
Deskin's
points off the board.
Yeah, they took Deskin's points off the board. 23-yard run negated, so now the Maroon defense will have to step it up as the Urbandale offense on the field. Quarterback is George Rice. He wears number 10, 5'11", 185-pound junior. First time the Urbandale offense has been on the field. As the Maroons started their drive at the 35, stalls out at the Urbandale 39, and now the give is to the fullback, and that is Alex Newberg, number 25, and he slashed his way up to the midfield for a gain of 5.
And down at the bottom pile, Nico Scagliano once again, Mark, making the tackle. And he took a shot on that one, too.
4-yard gain by Newberg. It brings up 2nd and 6 Jayhawks. 8:30 left to play, third quarter. We're in a dandy game here on the Central Iowa Sports Network and Iowa Catholic Radio. 14-7, Dowling leading Urbandale. Jayhawks handed off to Newberg again, and he's up near a first down into Dowling territory. And he's spotted down at the 46 of the Maroons. That's a gain of 7.
Ross Audie in on the tackle with Jacob Hummel.
Spotted just shy of the first down. Jayhawks need to get to the Dowling 44, so it'll be 3rd and 1 from the Dowling 46. Newberg on both carries, the fullback, Alex Newberg. And now here's the snap. They give to Newberg again. He's got the first down, across the 45, down to the Dowling 43, pick up a 3 on the play. Alex Newberg, 6'2", 230-pound senior, one of the more experienced backs left out of that group that graduated last year for head coach Sam Anderson in his 10th year of Urbandale. And Newberg's got the bulk of the carries. He's that fullback out of that broken bone or that flex bone offense, Dave.
Big, strong back going behind a large offensive line. He's done a nice job tonight, Mark.
All right, 1st and 10, Urbandale. They're at the Dowling 43. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoullier, Brian Morris. Cast of thousands here on the webcast and Iowa Catholic Radio. They give to Newberg, and that time he is swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. May have fallen forward for about a yard, and that's it. Line of scrimmage was the 44. He gets it down to the 43, if that.
Well, Jacob Hummel and Bell at the bottom of the pile, along with a couple other Dowling players, but Hummel with the initial contact.
Don't forget, following the game, we'll have interviews on the field with Brian Morris. He'll catch up with a couple Dowling players and head coach Tom Wilson. And you can watch the interviews on the Central Iowa Sports Network, and you can listen to them on Iowa Catholic Radio. 2nd and 9, Urbandale. Line of scrimmage to Dowling 43. Here is Rice running the option, turns the corner left, got some room down inside the 35 and tackled near a first down at the Dowling 34. Probably the best offensive move by George Rice. He didn't pitch it that time, Dave. He cut it up after he optioned left. Right around left in is where he turned up field and picked up the first down, apparently.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Mark. That was by far the best fake of the pitch that he has made. A Dowling player went for the fake. Rice turned it upfield and picked up a first down.
10-yard gain by the Urbandale quarterback, George Rice. He and Dalton Nelson were battling out in preseason, and Rice got the start last week at Hoover, was perfect in his passes, and tonight not doing a bad job. The give is to Newberg, and he breaks into the secondary, inside the 25, down to the Dowling 23-yard line. A 10-yard game, apparently, and he's close to a first down. And let's see if they give it to him. He's going to say short by a yard, so it's a 9-yard carry for Newberg.
Well, Elias Bell almost had him at the line of scrimmage, but Newberg got away from him with his power and his speed and picked up almost another first down.
Yep, 9-yard carry down to the Urbandale 24. It's 2nd and 1, 5:55 to play third quarter, Dowling up 14-7. Here's Rice on the option, and the ball nearly lost, but the pitchman was Javon Burnside, the little freshman, 5'6", 145 pounds. A little trouble with the handling the pitch, and he's driven down for a loss, and the Dowling defense just swallowed him up. You saw a lot of maroon jerseys around him. Back, Dave, to the 28-yard line, loss of 4.
That's great assignment football right there, Mark. You have a man assigned to the fullback. He got him. You have a man assigned to the quarterback. He got him. You have a guy assigned to the tailback, the pitchback, which was Jacob Hummel, and Hummel was all over that guy.
All right, quarterback Rice now getting his play in from the sideline. 10 seconds left in the play clock, and Urbandale with a 3rd and 5 from the Dowling 28. Here is Rice back to throw, fires it out, and that is caught by Lang. He's shy of the first down. They're going to forward progress right around the 24 of Dowling for a gain of 4.
That was just a short stop pattern, 3-step drop, and a pass. He's going to be about half a yard short, and if they go for it can almost guarantee you they're going to that big fullback, Alex Newberg.
Well, John Hayes, number 76, checks in as an extra defensive lineman. The Maroons almost in their goal line defense. 4th and 1, and the Jayhawks going for it. They have a receiver on each side of the football. And wishbone formation, the handoff goes to Newberg, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and the Maroon offense will take over after the Dowling defense stuffed the play back at the 25, a loss of 1. As the Maroon defense was in there, and Dave, I know you got your binoculars on, but they had that player well read as it was a straight give to the fullback Newberg.
Yeah, they were all over him. It looked like the quarterback, Rice, was trying to take it back. I'm not sure he may have had the ball, but one of them had it, but neither one were able to gain anything.
All right, let's go down to the sideline for our Shields sideline report. Brian Morris is down there. The Dowling defense gets a big lift, but unfortunately we have an injured Urbandale player at the same time, Brian.
Yeah, Dowling pushed their guys, and it was given to the back Newberg. Defensive lineman Wells and Mells, they were both in there on that play. I think the Urbandale guy, it looked like he may have been cramping.
Well, let's hope that's all it is, as we're having problems with Brian's mic. G. Nayu, starting running back, one of those wing backs in that backfield, gets up under his own power, and hopefully it was either had the wind knocked out of him or was part of the cramping maybe going on. But with 4:23 to play here in the second half, here in the third quarter, Dowling up by a touchdown, and the Dowling defense, they bend a little bit, Dave, because that drive for Urbandale started back at their own 45, but Dowling holds them on downs back at the Dowling 25.
And Mark, this game has really turned into a defensive battle.
Certainly has.
Defensive played very well.
Urbandale 1-0 on the season, their record. They had a 68-7 win with a running clock last week over arch rival Hoover just down the street in Aurora. Dowling did not play, and now Walding in at quarterback for Dowling Catholic, and Kurt with a pass swings it over to the left side. It's caught for a short gain up to the 30-yard line for a gain of 5.
Wanik on the catch again. He has a great pair of hands, was able to pick up maybe 3-4 yards.
Dowling's offense has been on the field for the first half. They turned it over on downs, actually an interception by Maluski of Urbandale, and the Maroon defense holds Urbandale's offense. And now Walding will keep the football, trying to go around the left side. Puts his head down. He's up near a first down. He crosses the 35, and he falls forward. I think he got second effort, Kurt did, and he got a first down at the 36. We'll see.
Well, Dowling came out in the double tight formation that time. Blocking kind of broke down, and Walding ended up picking up the first down mark by himself by finding the holes.
6-yard run, so after a 5-yard reception to Wanik, quarterback Kurt Walding, he and J.T. Brown trade positions. Now here's a little swing pass to Aaron Crawl on the right side. Aaron puts his head down across the 40, and he's driven down at the 43-yard line for a pickup of 7. They'll bring up second down and 3 for Dowling at their own 43-yard line.
And Aaron Crawl, once he gets the ball, is awful dangerous because he's so fast.
7-yard reception, so a couple passes from Walding, one to Wanik and one to Crawl, and it's 2nd and 3 Maroons. And here is Walding, and then the mesh to give to Jacob Zachary, and he makes something out of nothing, turns a corner and gets up to the 45 for a gain of 2. But Dave, that could have easily been a loss in the play, but Jacob got away from his defenders.
Yeah, and these linebackers are continuing to stunt, Mark, and they're able to get through. They are not very big kids, but they sure do play well and get through the line of scrimmage. They're right around the 180, 190 range.
All right, 3rd and 2, Dowling from their own 45 with 2:45 to play in the third quarter. And here is a handoff to, once again, Jacob Zachary, the junior running back. Got the first down. He crosses midfield before he's slammed down inside the 45, down to the 43-yard line of Urbandale. The Maroons pick up another first down. So Zachary
nice job
with the big
by
play.
Zachary.
Nice run by Jacob. I'll give him 12 yards in the carry and a first down at the Urbandale 43-yard line.
Kurt Walding in at quarterback still.
He's got Zachary in the backfield as the Maroons have rotated backs. Handoff is on the mesh to Zachary. He's got some room down the far sideline, and he's finally horse-collared inside the 25 and driven out of bounds. No flag in the play.
No flag. I'm surprised.
He hit him high, but Zachary kept his helmet on, kept his wits, and was driven down, and the officials are talking about it.
Boy, it's coming back, Mark.
Sometime the closer official may have been screened out, and there's another penalty on this play, and it's back
on Dowling.
And the Maroons are walking backwards, and that's never good. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio. And the Central Iowa Sports Network brought to you in part by Atlantic Bottlers, distributors of Core Power, a natural high-protein drink, and Gatorade, which hydrates better than water, the pure, delicious taste of Desanti water, all by Atlantic Bottlers. Thank you for supporting Dowling Catholic football, heard on Iowa Catholic Radio and seen on Central Iowa Sports Network. Dave, you said holding on the Maroons, and it backs the Maroons up into their own territory back to the 48. Wow.
Yeah, the mental mistakes are just absolutely killing Dowling Catholic on offense.
1st and 19, Dowling at the 48. Back to throw out of play action is Walding. Kurt back in the backfield, fires the ball out, and it's caught nicely by Stevie Sarcone. Breaks a tackle at the 40, still on his feet at the 30, and hammered down, finally tackled by the Jayhawks inside the 30. And it'll be a first down Dowling just near the 25-yard line. How about that, Mr. Stevie Sarcone?
Very hard run after the catch. A nice job by Sarcone to pick up the first down.
It's 27-yard reception on the play. And it's 1st and 10 Maroons. 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter. We have some scores to pass along here in a moment. And back to throw is Walding. Fires the ball out, and it's caught near side by Cole Billings. And Cole with the reception. And he's finally driven down right about the 23-yard line, so he'll gain 2 and a penalty flag down.
Now that came clear from the back, Judge. I'm going to guess this one's on Urbandale.
We'll keep an eye on that. Minute 46 to play here in the third quarter. Dowling 14, Urbandale 7 here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Thank you to Ashworth Vision Clinic for supporting our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School football. Ashworth Vision Clinic is located at 60th and Ashworth Road in West Des Moines. Phone number 515-440-4610. And DowlingWebcasting.com is brought to you by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy believes in safe, clean energy delivery to hundreds of thousands of people across this great state of Iowa. Thank you for supporting Dowling Catholic football. Dave, you got the penalty, and it's against the Maroons, it looks like.
I'm not sure what they called yet, Mark, but it was definitely on the Maroons.
Brian, you got an idea because everything was happening.
Yeah, it was a block in the back, and I don't know who it was on, but it came from the back judge.
All right, so that'll move the ball back to the 34-yard line of Urbandale. So the Maroons lose 15 yards on that play. It'll bring up 1st and 19. And here's Walding trying to keep the football. A little quarterback draw, and he may have gotten up to the 31 for a gain of 3 before the Urbandale defense stiffens. Let's get you caught up with some scores here. Second quarter score, Indianola leading Lincoln 14-7. Also in the second quarter, Yankee Centennial shutting out Roosevelt 27-0. Also in the second quarter, Southeast Polk 14, Waukee 3, and that's Dowling's opponent next week, Waukee. Back to throw, Walding fires in the middle, caught by Stevie Sarcone inside the 20, and not near a first down right now. Inside the 20, they're going to spot him down at the 16. Davey needs to get to the 15 for the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Sarcone was very well covered on that. Walding just put the ball right where it had to be on an under pattern. And a beautiful catch by Stevie Sarcone.
14-yard reception by Sarcone, and Walding will work out of the pistol here with 43 seconds left in the quarter. Now drops the football, still loose in the ground. And Urbandale thinks they got it. No official yet, and officials say yes, they do. Kurt fumbled the football. Urbandale recovers, and the Jayhawks stymie another Dowling drive deep in the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Boy, Coach Wilson will not be happy with these mental mistakes. This is very uncommon of a Dowling Catholic football team.
All right, so with 38 seconds left to play, 14-7 is our score. Let's go down for our Shield sideline report from Brian Morris.
Yeah, guys, I think that one, Kurt just took his eye off the ball. He was waiting to make the next play on it, and you're right. One of the things that we've talked about is a lot of these guys just haven't played, and this is the first time they've had an opportunity, and those mental mistakes have added tonight.
All right, that'll bring the Urbandale offense on the field. Thank you, Brian Morris, for that report. Quarterback remains George Rice. He has a man in motion. Back to throw Rice. Looking left side. Airs it out. He's got a man, and that's Blake Lang, and it's caught inside the 40 and finally tackled by the Maroons by Jack Kerner inside the Dowling 35-yard line is where they'll mark him down. But once again, the receiver that time for Urbandale, Blake Lang, with another big catch.
Well, that's 6'2", going against, was that Kerner back there?
Yes,
Mark?
it was. Yep. All the way down to, they're going to spot it at the 35-yard line. So 45-yard reception that time on the play by Urbandale. George Rice hooking up with Blake Lang. 1st and 10 Jayhawks at the Dowling 35. And now Rice will hand off to Newberg, and I think Dowling's got that well defended as the Maroons were all over that. Ross Oddie and company making the stop. Also on the defensive line coming up from the pile, Bronte Wells.
Yeah, I've been watching Bronte Wells go against Heinrich, and those two have had quite a match tonight. Another Urbandale player tried to get up but couldn't, got a cramp, Mark.
Dowling Catholic High School football broadcasts are brought to you in part by the support of Bozen the Florist, offering quality and a variety of flowers coast to coast 24 hours a day. 515-244-ROSE. That's 515-244-7673. Bozen the Florist. That's the end of the third quarter here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines, along with Dave Marcoule and Brian Morse. This is Mark Amadil, and we're back with the fourth quarter. Dowling leading 14-7 over Urbandale here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
And welcome back to Dowling Catholic High School football here on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network alongside Brian Morris and Dave Marcoule. This is Mark Amadale. Well, Brian's no longer beside us. He's down doing the Shields sideline report. But after that last play of the ends of the third quarter, Dowling leading 14-7, Dave, over Urbandale. We begin the fourth quarter, but Alex Newberg was cramping up for Urbandale, and he had that last carry for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, he's that strong fullback for them who's had an outstanding game.
All right, here is Urbandale now at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9, Jayhawks from the Dowling 34. Back to throw is Rice. Scrambles out of the pocket, wants to throw it. He's going to be sacked. Sacked back at the 38-yard line, and the Maroon defense coming to play.
Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson, who also was injured early in the game. Actually, he cramped up. Number 55 making the stop for a loss, Dave, back to the 38-yard line, loss of 4.
You know, and this is going to be a big adjustment for this Dowling defense because in replacing Newberg, who's their 230-pound fullback, is one of their smaller, quicker wingbacks. Completely different style running back.
We'll keep an eye on that. 3rd and 13, Jayhawks from the Dowling 38 here in the fourth quarter. Back to throw is Rice. Fires over the middle. The pass is caught. First down, Jayhawks, as he's wrapped up and then gang tackled right around the 20-yard line as they'll spot the forward progress. Nice completion that time by Rice as he found the Jayhawk receiver, and you know, that's somebody who you normally don't see as a receiver for Urbandale, who ended up making a pretty nice catch that time for the Jayhawks. Vernon Cheatham, who lined up as a receiver. So Cheatham makes the catch. First down Jayhawks, and that was 3rd and a mile, and it's 1st and 10 Urbandale on an 18-yard catch by Cheatham.
Well, it looked like the Dowling defender lost his footing on that play, Mark. Couldn't quite keep up with the receiver.
All right, 1st and 10 Jayhawks. Rice on the read option gives to that brand new fullback, and I think that's Eric Maluski, who stopped the line of scrimmage for no gain. I'll bring up 2nd and 10. Oh, they're going to say it's Cheatham that's the ball carrier.
Vernon Cheatham,
Cheatham
5'9" senior.
Who caught the last pass. They put him in the backfield, so Cheatham with no gain in the play brings up 3rd and 10, or 2nd and 10 rather, for Urbandale as they rotate players in. Cheatham now taking the spot of Alex Newberg, who was shaken up, we believe, by cramps. As the heat of the day, if you joined us late here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network, lower 90s was the high today in Des Moines. It hasn't cooled off much right now in the 80s, but very warm night. Now here is Rice under center, runs the option left, turns the corner, and he's stacked up tries to push the pile and can't, gets all the way down maybe to the 18 is where they're going to spot forward progress for a gain of 2, and David will bring up 3rd and 8 for the Jayhawks, the Dowling 18. In the last third down play for Urbandale, they came up with that big catch by Cheatham for 18 yards.
Boy, Stevie Johnson almost got him from the backside on that play, but couldn't quite get him, and then a nice gang tackle by a host of Dowling defenders on the left side of Urbandale's line.
All right, game clock under 10 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Dowling 14, Urbandale 7. Jayhawks approach the line of scrimmage, and now here's Rice looking to throw. He fires in the end zone, one-on-one coverage, and the pass is incomplete, and we're going to have pass interference on Dowling in the end zone. As the Dowling defender got wrapped up with him, Jack Kerner was wrapped up with Blake Lang. Lang at 6'2", 185, and Kerner at 6'1", 185, and Lang won that battle. It'll be an automatic first down for the Jayhawks.
I've been watching Dowling. They've been shifting in some of their big men on the defensive front. Number 76, John Hayes, just went in on this play. And I will try and get the other numbers as we see them.
All right, Urbandale will come to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to mark the ball half the distance to the goal line as the official now initiating the call. Just outside the 10, they're going to put it right on the 11-yard line, Dave, half the distance. So it's or inside the 10 rather, at the 9-yard line. First and goal, Urbandale on the pass interference penalty on Dowling. So the Jayhawks threatening to score their second touchdown of the night. Dowling leading 14-7. Jayhawks send a receiver on each side of the formation. Go with the flex bone offense. Here's the option play to the left, the pitch to the left side, running with the football and into the end zone. Touchdown Urbandale. That's Javon Burnside, the freshman, with the pitch from quarterback George Rice. Goes in from 9 yards out. And we've got a one-point ball game, Dave Marcooley and Brian Morris. 14-13 Dowling with 9:35 to play, pending the Jayhawk extra point.
Oh, we talked about assignment football. That time the assignment, the quarterback was taken care of, but no one was on the pitch back at all, and he was able to turn the corner and get in for a touchdown for Urbandale. Again, mental mistakes is what kind of got him in this situation and in Urbandale into this position.
All right, Jayhawks now attempting the extra point. Hunter St. John will do the place kicking. Dalton Nelson, the backup quarterback, number 18, with the hold. And here's a snap by Caleb Bright. Ball down. Kick is high enough, long enough, and it is good. And ladies and gentlemen, we are tied here at Valley Stadium. Dowling 14, Urbandale 14. Jayhawks come in ranked number 9, Dowling ranked number 4, and we've got a battle. Back after these messages, you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Action!
Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas.
Cut!
What?
Action!
We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on.
Cut! Action!
Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium, West Des Moines. We're tied at 14, 9:35 to play in the fourth quarter. Dowling and Urbandale. Now here's the return by the Maroons as the Maroons on the kickoff team return it. And that's Jack Kerner at the 3-yard line, gets it all the way across the 20, and he finally stopped there as we got an injured Urbandale player. We'll go down to Brian Morris here in a moment as cramping up is Hunter Matthews, number 37 on the return team, and Kerner return up to the 27-yard line. That's where the Dowling offense will take over as we're tied at 14. And Brian Morris, give us our Shields sideline report here for the first time here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Urbandale has liked that matchup where they go with their receiver against Jack Kerner. And Jack's been battling pretty good. The receiver for Urbandale, number 85, I'm looking at Blake Lane, number 80. He's made a couple of good plays. The pass interference, that could have went either way. Both players were kind of battling down there, and they always give it to the offensive player because both got their hands, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was both kind of hand checking, but penalties and mistakes are all part of this game for the Maroons. This is their first grading period because Urbandale's got a game under their belt. As we want to thank some of our supporters and listeners here on Iowa Catholic Radio, including our underwriters, Catholic Tuition Organization, providing tuition assistance to families to attend our Catholic schools. Thanks to their generous donors and 65% Iowa tax credit available to them online at ctoiowa.org. Thank you to the Catholic Tuition Organization. First and 10, Dowling. Line of scrimmage is the Maroon 26-yard line. And J.T. Brown coming in at quarterback as the Maroons rotate Brown and Kurt Walding, and Brown keeps the football, and he goes towards the near sideline. That's in front of the Dowling sideline, and he stepped out of bounds right about the 29 for about a 3-yard gain. Dave Marcoule. Dowling now bringing in J.T. Brown, wearing number 8.
Peter Nank trying to reach block. The outside linebacker did a nice job to allow Brown to pick up a couple of yards.
2nd and 7 for Dowling. Back to throw Brown. JT looks right, now keeps the football and trying to find a seam, and he gets across the 30 and down at the 33-yard line. Picked up 4 yards in the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down for the Maroons. Gain of 5 by JT. It'll be 3rd and 2.
He wanted to throw the ball to the right side of one of his receivers, but was unable to do so, so elected to run the ball up the middle. Brings another 3rd down. Dowling does not want to punt the ball back to Urbandale.
3rd and, they're calling it 3 from the Dowling 32-yard line. Here is Brown, keeps the football, looking for a seam, and he's going to be drugged down from behind. Nice play that time by the Urbandale defense, led by trying to see who that number was. It was Turner Ellis, I believe, making the stop. Dowling short of the 1st down up to the 35-yard line, gain of 3 by Brown.
Boy, again, these linebackers, Mark, for Urbandale are just really doing a great job. Turner Ellis, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Cody Pearson, 195.
All right, the Maroons
really getting in.
Maroons will bring the punting unit in and punt it away. As Alex Heeman in, he'll stand back at his own 20-yard line as the Maroons facing a 4th and 1 from their own 35. Heeman accepts the snap and kicks it away. High kick.
Beautiful
Let's see if he can get this to turn. Fair catch signaled for by Urbandale's Henry Puckett, and it goes picked up by Puckett, and he's finally driven out of bounds to the 5-yard line. A penalty flag down, Dave, at the back end of this.
Well, he called it for a fair catch.
And that happened earlier, and then it went over his head.
It sailed over his head. And I know what Urbandale is going to work on this week.
Oh, my goodness. 57-yard punt by Heeman of Dowling. And the return up to the 7-yard line of Urbandale. But now we've got a penalty on the play. Let's mention some scores while we've got called delay of game on Urbandale.
Well, the ball hit the ground, and they're calling him for running it after he called a fair catch.
Ah, that makes sense. Halftime score, Ankeny Hawks leading Johnson 17-0. Second quarter score, Waterloo East over Hoover 17-0. And Iowa City West and Valley hooked up in a duo in Iowa City. Valley leading 6-0 in the second quarter. And Dowling's next opponent will be Waukee next Friday night here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Southeast Polk leading Waukee 14-3 in the second quarter. So delay of game, that'll be half the distance to the goal with 7:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Jayhawks will start deep in their own territory, Brian Morris, down near the 3-yard line, I believe.
The 3 guys, and Dowling's got to hold them here, not give 3 or 4 downs and let Urban this clock.
All right, here is Urbandale trying to dig out of a hole. The give is to the fullback, and let's see if Newberg's back in or if they got the backup in there, Dave.
Newberg is in, and I tell you, Mark, this is where Dowling wants to get a turnover, and Urbandale's doing a nice job pounding that ball for 3 or 4 yards right out the middle, and Newberg is back in.
Yep, gain of 4 by Newberg. That's good news for the Jayhawk fans. We thought he cramped up in the couple possessions ago. Hand off Newberg again, and he's up near the 10-yard line for a gain of 3. So bring up 3rd and long now for Urbandale.
Ross Audie on the tackle again. He's been in on quite a few tonight. Brings up a big third down play for Urbandale.
And Newberg is gassed. I mean, they're They know they want him to carry the football, but he is struggling out there, and see if he stays in. 3rd down, 3, Urbandale. Line of scrimmage, their own 10-yard line. They've got 90 yards to go, 6.5 minutes to play. Both teams tied at 14 here at Valley Stadium on the Maroons' opening game of the season. Urbandale, this is game 2 for them as they defeated Hoover last week, 68-7. And now here is quarterback Rice keeping the football, and he struggles, fakes the handoff to Newberg, and he gets up to the 14. He's got the 1st down. Nice job by Rice as he went around left end running the option, Dave.
Well, he faked it to Newberg and kept the ball and found an opening and picked up the 1st down. Huge 1st down for Urbandale.
4-yard run for Rice, and as you mentioned, keeps the game clock running. 6:05 to play. Dowling and Urbandale tied at 14 here in the 4th quarter. Not a bad crowd here tonight on the opening night for the Dowling team. Urbandale's 2nd game and their 1st road game. Maroons will be on the road next Friday night at Waukee. Back to throw is Rice for Urbandale. Launches the ball downfield, and the pass is caught once again. Blake Lang with a tremendous catch. And back on coverage for Dowling Catholic is Drew Madden. So Kerner's tried to guard him, and now Madden, and I think one other. And you just can't stop this guy as Lang has caught everything thrown to him for the most part tonight.
Yeah,
1st down, Jayhawks.
The cornerbacks have struggled a little bit tonight, Mark.
Blake Lang, wearing number 80, 6'2", 185-pound junior, with the catch up to the 49-yard line of Urbandale. 1st and 10, Jayhawks. 35-yard reception. Now here's Rice, and the give in the backfield of Javon Burnside. The freshman is swallowed up for a loss. He tried to go around on that sweep left, Dave. They work it out of that flex bone offense, and that time Burnside going from right to left is swallowed up by the Dowling defensive front.
Jacob Cheathamhelm is the first man in on the tackle there. Got a hold of him to prevent him from picking up any yardage.
Loss of 1 on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd and 11 for Urbandale at their own 48. Tied at 14, Dowling and Urbandale. Both teams with 3 timeouts left. Here's Rice back to throw. Fakes one way, throws the other, and it's caught once again. Blake Lang with the catch. A nice reception by Blake. The tackle by Dowling's Drew Madden, and just shy of the 1st down as they're going to mark it back to the 43-yard line, so it'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Jayhawks.
And this is where they like to run that inside option play.
So Lang with the 35-yard catch, and this one goes down to the 44 for a 4-yard reception for Lang.
Newberg went to the wing on this play, Mark. They brought in the little quickness in the backfield.
It's Cheatham in the backfield, and now here's a snap, and now a bad pitch as the quarterback was hit. Loose football, and I think it's going to be out of bounds or taken out of bounds back at the 40-yard line. Nonetheless, it'll be Urbandale football, but they'll have a 16-yard loss on the play as who got in there for Dowling that hit the quarterback, Dave?
You know, I have my binoculars, and I was watching the line play on that one, Mark, so I didn't see who got in there. But
well, we got to go to Plan B.
Brian will have it.
Brian Morris with our Shield sideline report. Who made that hit, Brian?
Elias Bell, guys. He got in there, stunted in there. He got to Rice before he could even turn around, and luckily for Urbandale, they recovered that fumble.
All right. Elias Bell, mark it down with the stop. Woke everything up. Number 98, 6'3", 245-pound junior for Dowling, forcing Urbandale into a punting situation. Urbandale recovered the ball before it went out of bounds. And the Jayhawks will punt from their own 41, stymieing the drive with 4 minutes left to play. And now here is the punt by the Jayhawks.
Not a good kick at all.
Off the side of his foot, and it's going to run out of bounds or near out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So not a very good kick indeed by Hunter St. John, who's been pretty steady tonight. Maroons will take over at their own 40-yard line, apparently. Let's go back down to the sideline for our Shield sideline report by Brian Morris.
Yeah, guys, I was trying to look who I think Kurt Walding back in for this drive here. You're going to see probably a little bit of pass. One of the things that's really worked, Stevie Sarcone probably has about 7 or 8 passes all in the middle of the field, and I expect them to try to go back to that as well.
A 20-yard punt that time by St. John and no return, so it'll be Dowling football and Kurt Walding in at quarterback for the Maroons. He from their own 39. Walding with the snap, and the give is to Zachary, and he's in the secondary, inside the 30, foot race to the near corner, and he's finally driven down at the 5-yard line by the Jayhawks. Touchdown saving tackle there by Urbandale, and that Dave Marcoullier was a great job by Chris Miller, who came out of nowhere to run him down.
And you know the best thing? No penalty, no flags. Seems like every big play, Dowling gets called back, but not that one. Zachary did a great job finding a hole to the left side and then turning on the jets and all the way inside the 5-yard line.
All right, 1st and goal, Dowling. The work out of the pistol. Kurt Walding at quarterback. High snap. Walding fakes the handoff. Touchdown, Kurt Walding over the right side from 5 yards out. He faked the handoff to Zachary. Everybody had his number, and Kurt went in from the right side. And Dowling now retakes the lead with 3:33 to play in the 4th quarter. Dowling 20, Urbandale 14 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Well, that sure didn't take long, did it?
Unbelievable. And then, look at Zachary. He had a 56-yard run that set up the touchdown run by Walding.
And every time he's come in tonight, he's done a great job. An important extra point here, Mark.
Heeman's extra point is up. And it is good on the hold from Kurt Walding and the snap by Nick Simpson. So with 3:33 to play here in the 4th quarter, Dowling 21, Urbandale 14. And we'll take a break and we'll come back to Valley Stadium. We'll get a Shield sideline report from Brian Morris. When we return, you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and Central Iowa Sports Network.
Miss your hometown clothing store, the one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
Hi, we're the Waters Boys. I'm Todd. And I'm Thad. The best deals on Buick and GMCs are right here at Waters. Waters Autoland, 8 miles south of Des Moines, Indianola.
Catch the wave to Waters. Waters Autoland.
And we're back here on the Central Iowa Sports Network and Iowa Catholic Radio. Mark Hamadale, Dave Marcoullier. Here's a kickoff by Urbandale and the return by the Jayhawks. That's Javon Burnside, the freshman on the return. He gets it up across the 30-yard line. That's where the Jayhawks will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. They'll spot it down with 3:26 to play here in the 4th quarter. 21-14 is our score. Dowling leading Urbandale in a great game. And let's go down to our sideline reporter and our Shields sideline report from Brian Morris. Brian?
Yeah, those Urbandale linebackers, guys, we've been saying all night they've been that he got behind him, catch him, so run by Zachary.
All right, Brian, thank you for that report. Well, Dave, very important drive for the Urbandale offense. 3:26 to play. They have all 3 of their timeouts, as does Dowling, but it's crunch time now for the Jayhawks. They're playing catch-up.
It is a very big play or a series for them.
Okay, Urbandale from their own 31, and on 1st down, they stick to the running game, and that is quarterback Rice keeping the football, and he gets up near the 39-yard line for a gain of 8.
That's the play they really like this 4th quarter, where they fake the dive to the fullback. He keeps it and runs off tackle. And it's been picking up pretty positive yardage. Newberg, Mark, back in at fullback.
DowlingWebcasting.com is brought to you by Waters Autoland, new and used in cars and trucks. Catch the wave, Waters Autoland. Now here is a running play to the left side. Javon Burnside trying to turn the corner, and what worked earlier, Dave, didn't work here. The Maroons slam him out of bounds for a loss back around the 40-yard line.
Jacob Hummel, wow. Did he run him down that time and show some speed and a great athletic move? But it's 3rd and about a foot or 2, Mark.
Yeah, they're going
big play here.
Spot him forward progress up to the 40-yard line, so going to give him 2 yards in the play. And it's 3rd and short. Hand off to Newberg. He's stacked up.
He did not make it.
He's about a yard shy. Across the 41-yard line is where they'll spot it, but it'll bring up 4th and short, Dave.
I had the binoculars on that, Mark, and there is no way he made that. We'll see what kind of spot he got. He's short.
And Urbandale will call.
They're going to measure.
They're going to measure it here with 2:03 to play. The Dowling fans, you can hear them in the background making some noise. 2:03 to play here in the fourth quarter. Dowling 21, Urbandale 14. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network, brought to you in part by the construction professionals. They work with you to transform a house into your home online at cpcustomhomes.com. And tonight's game on the Iowa Catholic Radio, Dowling Webcasting. It's brought to you by Triplet Office Essentials. Triplet Office Essentials for printing and promotional products, interior solutions. They're located at 109th Street in Urbandale. www.triplet.com. Thanks to Triplet Office Essentials. Dave, they did the measurement.
Yep, and they're about a foot or two short, and they're going to go for it. And I tell you what, Dowling defensive line had better be disciplined here, because they're going to try and draw them off sides.
Well, they got the big guy lined out to the right of the formation, Blake Lang, 6'2", 185, who hasn't dropped a pass all night. And watch that matchup, because Dowling has Drew Madden on him right now, and single coverage to the right of the formation.
And Dowling needs penetration and discipline on this play.
Here's Rice under center. And now the right side of the offensive line moved. You know who that was?
Yeah, that's on Urbandale.
That was on Heinrich.
Yes, it was. That was not a penalty on Dowling.
The big guy going to Arkansas got off the ball, a snap, half snap count early. Procedure against Urbandale, and what was 4th and 1 is now 4th and 6.
Now on the other side of the coin, did you see him come off the ball, Mark? Man, he's got some speed and strength for 290 pounds, because he come off the ball.
Dave, I don't want to be in his way, and I don't think Brian does too. Brian,
no, sir.
Remember those days?
I would not want to be in his way, and so good because nobody moved for that.
That's right. That's good discipline. You talked about it, Dave. 4th and 5, Urbandale going for it. Back at their own 35-yard line. Minute 53 to play in the game. Dowling by 7. Back to throw is quarterback Rice for Urbandale. Fires over the middle. He's got a man open. It's caught at the 40. First down, Jayhawks. Can you believe it? Gene Ayu, one of the starting wingbacks, with the reception. Well-executed play by Sam Anderson's offense.
Yeah, and Rice put the ball right where it needed to go. And, boy, that was a huge gamble by Urbandale.
On 4th and 5, the Jayhawks pick up 30 yards and a first down.
And watch down at the bottom of this.
All right, here is the play. The handoff right up to Newberg. Right up the gut he goes inside the 30. He's finally tackled the 27-yard line, gain of 9, as they went right to the heart of the Dowling defense, right over the nose guard.
And you know, sooner or later they're going to come to number 80, Blake Lane, who's down here isolated one-on-one.
All right, 2nd and 1, Urbandale at the Dowling 27, minute 10 to play. Back to throw is Rice. Fires to your guy, and the pass is incomplete. Hand jostling and no flag. Dowling defender did a pretty nice job, Dave, in coverage. That's Drew Madden as they threw the ball once again to Blake Lang of Urbandale.
And that was close. I saw him reaching for the flag mark, but he decided not to. That was a close penalty.
Hand jostling. And nonetheless, the Maroons will bring in an extra defensive lineman. That's John Hayes coming in as the Maroons actually interchange in defensive line substitute.
Scaglione, he's been trading off with him.
Yeah, Scaglione's been going out. Minute 6 to play. 3rd and 1, Urbandale from the Dowling 27. The give is to Newberg, and he's stacked up at enough for the first down. I think it's the 25 he does. Gain of 2. It'll be first down Urbandale. Clock running with 59 seconds. Jayhawks have all 3 of their timeouts left.
And that was John Hayes wrapping up inside there. Comes in for one play and gets the job done.
That'll be
59 seconds in running, Mark.
1st and 10, Jayhawks. Line of scrimmage is the Dowling 25, Dowling 21, Urbandale 14. Back to throw is Rice. He's got pressure and he's sacked back at the 30-yard line. Loss of 5. And Jayhawks will burn a timeout here with 47 seconds left to play in the ball game. Tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio is sponsored and supported by Dental Associates, 6 family dentists with an oral surgeon addressing your smile needs and dreams at 3700 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines. Their phone number 515-225-6742. And DowlingWebcasting.com is brought to you by Eye Care of Iowa. For nearly 35 years, Eye Care of Iowa has provided family eye care to 3 generations of Iowa families. You can log on to icareofiowa.com for more information. Alongside Dave Marcoule, Mark Amadale, Brian Morris on the sideline. Dave, 47 seconds left to go. Urbandale with 2nd and 14 from the Dowling 29. Dowling with a 7-point lead. What's going on, Coach?
Well, I tell you, when your cornerbacks are struggling, they have been struggling a little bit tonight. The best way to counteract that is to get a rush on this quarterback, especially from the edge. And that's exactly what Bell did that time, put a lot of pressure coming in. 2 players in there, brought them down, and they're going to double up on Lang this time, Mark.
All right, and out of the timeout, Brian Morris is on the sideline as they get rid of the exchange footballs. So it's first or second down, and they're going to call it 14. Line of scrimmage is a Dowling 29, Urbandale, left and right. As you watch the webcast, going to the south end zone, back to throws quarterback Rice. He lost it downfield. He overthrew the Dowling defense and a penalty flag down. Touchdown Urbandale. G. Nayu, who just caught the pass earlier for Urbandale from 30 yards on 4th down, makes a touchdown reception, but a penalty flag down. And let's see, is it interference on Dowling? If so, they'll wave it off.
I think it is on Dowling, Mark.
Officials huddling up. Of course, earlier we had the hand jostle. There's 2 flags at the same spot, and now the 2 officials talked to the referee about what they came up with 41 seconds to play. 21-14 Dowling, but will this come back, or will this touchdown stand by Urbandale from 29 yards out? Officials still talking. They haven't come up with anything yet. Brian Morris, you're on let's go down to our Shield sideline report. Brian, you got an update?
No, I think they're still talking about it, and I would not be surprised, guys, to see Urbandale go for 2.
Well, no signal yet from the official, and now the referee. Pass interference, Dowling.
Timeout, Urbandale.
And touchdown, Jayhawks. So it's 21-20, Brian. Dowling with the lead.
Yeah, they were going to, I think it was a touchdown automatically. And I saw the Urbandale coaches quarter come running. I would not be surprised if they're going to go for the win here.
All right, we'll see. Timeout, Urbandale. We'll keep it here. 41 seconds to play. Dowling leads it 21-20 over the Jayhawks on a touchdown reception by Nayu. G. Nayu with the touchdown reception for Urbandale. Jayhawks trail by 1 and a timeout as they've used their second timeout. And apparently, Urbandale, Dave, considering going for 2. We'll see what happens here, as Nayu's touchdown reception was from 29 yards from quarterback Rice.
Well, they are going for 2, Mark.
All right. Jayhawks going for 2 and a chance to win it.
They are
with
going
41
out of
seconds.
I back.
High formation is the backfield. Receiver on one side. Here's a snap. Rice the give, and stacked up and going nowhere. 2-point conversion no good, and Dowling remains in the lead, 21-20.
Boy, I don't understand that call at all.
All right, we'll take a timeout and be back with 41 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. Dowling 21, Urbandale 20. Jayhawks will kick off when we return. You're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
At Mid-American Energy, part of putting power in your hands is helping to keep families safe. That's why Mid-American provides free educational safety programs to schools, asks you to call 811 before you dig, have annual furnace inspections, and be aware of hazards at home. Mid-American Energy safely delivers electricity and natural gas to us in good times and stormy ones. That's Mid-American Energy.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. What a barn burner we have. Dowling 21 and Urbandale 20. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoule, Brian Morris. And we want to thank our sponsors and underwriters here on Iowa Catholic Radio. They include the Marion Home Care. Marion Home Care provides private home care designed for individual needs. Phone number 221-9155. Our thanks to them, and also our thanks Dowling Webcasting, brought to you by MetaBank. MetaBank provides personal, home, business, and farm banking services to people throughout the Midwest. Log on to metabank.com. Every customer leaves, I love my bank. Here's the onside kick by Urbandale, and the Maroons fall right on top of it, right at the 48-yard line. So Dowling recovers the onside kick. And Maroon offense will take over. Urbandale down to one timeout. Stevie Sarcone at the bottom of that pile there, Brian Morse. We go down to our Shields sideline report.
Dowling had their hands team on the field, but I'm still shocked at that call. Urbandale's been doing so many exotic plays, and they call.
Yeah, they certainly have. And Dave, I know Brian's mic's.
They come out in an I formation. They haven't shown an I formation all night, and that's just a fullback lead, and that's not their style of football. And I'm shocked at that call also.
40 seconds remaining, and Dowling will take a knee. Urbandale has one timeout left. They may burn it here. We'll see. Game clock running down, and Dowling will have to snap the ball for at least one more play. Maroons. Dowling 21, Urbandale 20. What a dandy of a game we had. Urbandale went for the win after a 29-yard touchdown reception from G. Nayu from quarterback Rice. And now Maroons kneel down. T.A.T. Brown kneels down, and that'll do it. Urbandale cannot stop the clock, and Dowling's going to win this 21-20 over the Jayhawks here on the Dowling opening night. Jayhawks record will fall to 1-1. Dowling improves, Dave, to 1-0. On the opening night, a lot of lessons learned, but nonetheless, the Maroons come out with a victory, and they'll be traveling to Waukee next Friday night, and a game we'll have only on radio at Iowa Catholic Radio or iowacatholicradio.com. But congratulations to Tom Wilson and the Maroons for a tremendous win against a very fine Urbandale team, maybe better than we expected.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was quite a battle, especially on the line of scrimmage, Mark. And I really don't think we're going to see a line of scrimmage, a group of linemen that big who are that skilled the rest of the year. Valley's got some big people, but wow, I don't think they can be better than this group from Urbandale. They did a great job, and those linebackers were flying all over the field. Give a lot of credit to Urbandale's fullback Newberg, who did a nice job, and how about Rice? George Rice at quarterback, great job.
Hey, you're certainly right, Dave. You look at this game, and Dowling never trailed in the game. They were tied middle of the second quarter. We were tied in the fourth quarter. And then when Urbandale scored with 41 seconds in regulation, they went for two, but didn't accomplish it as they ran out of the I formation. The only time all night they ran out of the I, Dowling stuffed it for no gain, actually a loss in the play. And the Maroons win at 21-20 on a nice goal line stand by the Dowling defense. We're going to take a break. We'll go to our post-game activities here as we do our simulcast tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio, iowacatholicradio.com, and the Dowling webcasting folks with Pete Tarpey and the Central Iowa Sports Network. So stay tuned for the post-game show. That's coming up here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Again, the final score, Dowling 21, Urbandale 20. Back after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, we're the Waters Boys. I'm Todd. And I'm Thad. The best deals on Buick and GMCs are right here at Waters. Waters Autoland, 8 miles south of Des Moines, Indianola.
Catch the wave to Waters. Waters Autoland.
Mr. Hometown Clothing Store,
first game.
The one that had it all.
We'd love to have a game under our belt
everything to get
last
the work
week.
done, all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing. Your size, your style, we've got it all.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, we're the Waters Boys. I'm Todd. And I'm Thad. The best deals on Buick and GMCs are right here at Waters. Waters Autoland, 8 miles south of Des Moines, Indianola.
Catch the wave to Waters. Waters Autoland.
And welcome back to the postgame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio alongside Dave Marcoulli, Mark Amadale. Dowling, a winner tonight and in close fashion as the Maroons go to 1-0 in the season with a 21-20 win over Urbandale. An exciting game here at Valley Stadium. We want to thank our underwriters and sponsors tonight, Dave. They include Mercy Hospitals. They have more than 50 primary care clinics in the Des Moines area. Thank you for supporting Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network, mercydesmoines.org, and Dowling Webcasting, brought to you by Dr. Theron Jameson at Jameson Orthopedic Clinic. Offers independent medical examinations for patients in need of caring family orthopedic and joint care needs, located at 2213 Grand in Des Moines. Mark Amadale along with Dave Marcoulli here in the booth. Down in the field is Brian Morris. We'll go to Brian here in a moment as he will have interviews from a couple of Dowling players. I believe he's going to try to catch up with Stevie Sarcone, so be on notice there. The Sarcone family, very loyal listeners, not only for football but also in basketball. When Lucy played, I think that's the last gal that passed through the halls of Dowling, Dave. But, hey, it's been fun tonight. Game one for Dowling, and it showed, and now Coach Wilson has tape of his team.
Yeah, he does, and that's critical, and I'm sure the coaches can't wait to break this tape down and go through it with the kids, and that's where a lot of learning really takes place with this football team. These coaches do a great job of critiquing each individual. They grade every athlete, and a lot of learning will take place this week, believe me.
All right, Brian Morris, we'll go down to him in a moment, but let's recap the scoring of this game. And Dave, the Maroons led at halftime 14-7, but it was a struggle. Dowling got up another board first, leading 7-0 in the first quarter with a minute 51 to play. Cole Deskin on a 2-yard run, extra point by Heeman gave Dowling a 7-0 lead. Back comes Urbandale, and that Blake Lang, what a night he had for the Jayhawks. He had a 54-yard touchdown reception from quarterback George Rice, extra point by Hunter St. John Good. We're tied at 7 with just under 4 minutes to play in the half. But then the Dowling offense gets on track, and Tommy Wanek on a 33-yard touchdown pass from quarterback J.T. Brown, as Dowling played both quarterbacks tonight, Kurt Walding and J.T. Brown. Brown with the touchdown pass. Maroons led 14-7 at halftime, and as we went to halftime, it was even Steven. Each team's defense really played very well, and that continued in the second half, Dave.
You know, what really surprised me a little bit was Urbandale's defense. They really did a nice job, and their linebackers almost stunning every single play, putting a lot of pressure on the young quarterbacks for Dowling, young as far as experience. But it's going to be interesting to hear Coach Wilson's viewpoint on the two quarterbacks, on what he saw, and once he watches the film, how he breaks that down and what they come up with.
Well, Dave, Brian Morris is on the field. He's got an interview with one of the Dowling defensive players, a guy whose name you called a little bit tonight, and that's Jacob Schiedenhelm. And let's go down to Brian Morris on the sidelines with Jacob Schiedenhelm.
One thing, defensively, you were playing against a team that had some big offensive linemen. What was that like in the trenches tonight?
You know, we came in a great team. Obviously, we knew they had two great O-linemen. They came out and they ran the ball down our throats a few times, and we had to, push through the adversity, just change our game plan a little bit.
Coming into that last play of the game, Urbandale scores with 40 seconds to go. What were you guys looking for on defense? Because they came out in a formation, in an I formation that really haven't came out in all game.
Yeah, they was a little different. We went into man coverage, and they caught us off guard, I think, and we just weren't ready for it.
Talk a little bit about the defensively overall tonight. You guys had a few opportunities, bend but didn't break, gave up a few big plays. Again, as a senior, what's the expectations out of this first game?
You know, it was our first game. We expected some mistakes. They had a game under their belt, but I think that we kind of came through. We definitely made some mistakes, like I said, and they pushed the ball down our throats a few times, and we just got to step up and change it next week.
All right, good luck to you next week, Jacob.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, good job, Brian Morris. As we'll continue with Brian, he's got a couple other interviews going on. Dowling 21, Urbandale 20, our final score tonight. Let's go back down to Brian Morris on our Shields sideline report. He's got the Dowling tight end who had a lot of catches tonight. That's senior Stevie Sarcone. Brian, take it away with Stevie Sarcone.
Talk a little bit about that where you were catching those balls in the middle of the field. That you must have seen something, or the coaches saw something, but you came through catching everything that was thrown to you.
Yeah, we knew coming into the week with the type of defense they ran that the middle of the field would be wide open, and we did a really good job of exploiting that, and heck of a job to our quarterbacks for finding me in the middle.
One time there was a series where John Bliss caught 6 or 5 in a row. You guys ran the exact same play, and then you caught the ball over the middle. It just seemed like you were setting them up for that.
Yeah, we knew we had a really good chance to exploit them on the perimeter this week with our keys, and we did a hell of a job doing that this game. And great job to Bliss to make some moves to get some yards for us.
One last question. Talk a little bit about the defense you saw tonight. Were they coming stunning aggressive, or where was the seams tonight that you guys saw that you could expose?
In the middle of the field was a big part of the game plan. We knew that we could expose them there, and then out on the perimeter, we knew we had a great opportunity to exploit them there as well.
All right, Stevie Sarcone, great game tonight. Probably 7 or 8 catches, and good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, I got one more here.
Go ahead, Brian, as Dowling wins it 21-20 over Urbandale. And, Brian, you're going to talk to a young man who had that, that big run that gave Dowling an opportunity to score, and that was Jacob Zachary, a 56-yard run setting up the final Dowling touchdown. It was the winning score. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Jacob, you come in. Urbandale ties the score with about 3 minutes to go. First handoff, you go 56 yards. Really sparked the Maroons to this victory tonight. Talk a little bit about that play.
Well, it was like all of our offensive linemen. They were driving them in big holes for me. I could get through it every time, and it was just there, and I got to go. I knew it was time to go, and we went. Our whole team got the victory, cheering on everyone, guys on the sidelines too, getting us going. Then I just got luck right there, and it opened up for me, and I was gone.
Talk a little bit about last week. You didn't play the game. What was the mood this week of disappointment, probably of not getting that game in, and probably the team was just sick of hitting each other?
Yeah, we were just waiting in the gym ready, and they called the delay. Everyone was mad. We just wanted to get the jitters out, and it came to it that we had to get the jitters out now. So the game was 21-20. Yeah, we won it, but we can only get better from here.
Yeah, that's the one thing you're going to see. Coaches are going to be able to look at tape all week and maybe talk to you guys about mistakes you made and how you improve. And they always say you're going to get better from week 1 to week 2, and really this is your week 2.
Yeah. This is our week 2, but practices in between, hard. Everyone going through conditioning hard. We just fought to the end and got the victory.
All right, David, your brother. It's a great game, Jacob. Good job.
Thanks.
All right, Brian, I know you're going to catch up with head coach Tom Wilson here in a moment, and we'll let you do that. Once again, the final, Dowling 21 and Urbandale 20. I want to thank some of our underwriters and sponsors tonight. R&R Realty Group, they've been solving commercial real estate business needs since 1985, thanks to them. And also by Dowling Webcasting, Don Brown and Properties, A.J. Anderson, Caldwell Bankers. Don and A.J. support Central Iowa athletics of all kind. Again, the final, Dowling 21, Urbandale 20. The Maroons had their first win of the year. Let's go down back in the sidelines for our Shields sideline report. And Brian Morris has head coach Tom Wilson and Dowling Catholic with him.
Coach, heck of a football game from both sides tonight. I thought a very good game. Talk a little bit about that last series when David Zachary got that 56-yard run, and you guys had all the momentum.
Flurry. Zachary came in, did well. I mean, to be honest with you, Deskin's a heck of a back. Zachary's a heck of a back. Aaron Craw is a heck of a back. So that gives us some weapons. And really, Jacob stepped up in that particular case. And I really thought both teams did well. I really thought we shot ourselves in the foot so many times during the course of the ball game. But at some point in time, you got to give your opponent credit. It's not all about us. And it's all part of the process. We're a young football team.
Yeah, we talked about that on pregame. Really 20 guys who haven't played before, and it showed at times tonight just some mental mistakes that happened, and the flags were being put out there. But this is going to be something that you and the coaching staff get an opportunity to look at the film and make that improvement to week 2.
That's really what we told the kids. We were proud of them. I'm really proud of them, and I thought they persevered. I thought they came back. I thought they hung together when they needed to. We made plays. Hey, when you're replacing everybody, it's not always going to be pretty. And you know, people forget we just beat the number 9 ranked team in the state. And it's not like it's not a good football team. We just played.
look at the quarterback situation, Coach. Two quarterbacks. We talked at halftime. You saw some goods and bads. Same thing in the second half, or did anything stand out from the play of both the quarterbacks tonight?
I think we'll have to look at film. The bottom line is we won the football game, and really how JT and Kurt have both handled this has been tremendous. It says a lot about those kids, and we're not going to make that decision in one ball game either. I don't think. I think it. Hopefully, at some point in time, we get to one. We'll look at film and evaluate and see what we've got, and be a week-by-week basis. And just proud of both kids, and we got the win.
Yeah, we were talking after Urbandale scored. We thought they would go for two. They had the momentum, but defense stepped up, made a big play, and you win the ball game.
Oh, we did, and it was, I kept thinking, okay, we got 41 seconds left, and if they end up making that, obviously worried about the worst-case scenario, but us stopping them and then having to get our hands team ready, and really I'm glad they kick it to somebody like Sarcone, who had a heck of a night, and it's pretty fitting for him to recover that fumble.
Okay, Coach, well, thank you for spending some time with us. Congratulations on the win, and we will see you at Waukee next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks to Brian Morris for those sideline reports sponsored by Shields. We appreciate Brian. Once again, the final, Dowling 21, Urbandale 20. The Maroons go 1-0 on the season. Urbandale falls to 1-1, along with Dave Marcoulli and Mark Amadale back here in the booth. And Dave, before we go to our final break of the night, what a game it was. Very warm night. As folks can see if you're watching the webcast, Dave is perspiring, and that's not me.
It is warm. And it hasn't cooled off in the press box at all. In fact, we lost our breeze.
Yes, we did. We'll take our final break of the night, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up. Dowling and Urbandale, what a game it was. 21-20, Dowling with the win. Back after these messages here on the Iowa Sports Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Miss your hometown clothing store, the one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's 72-hour Labor Day sales event. 0% for 72 months on most new 2015 and 2016 Chevys. Time is ticking to get the biggest savings of the year. 0% for 60 months, plus an additional $4,000 off on select new Silverados. And get more for your trade. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. The 72-hour Labor Day sales event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet on the west end of Hickman, Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Action!
Fireplace Superstore is growing. We're building a great new location next to our current store at 109th and Douglas.
Cut!
What?
Action!
We don't want to move it, so we're putting everything on.
Cut! Action!
Our warehouses are too full, and this building's going to go up fast, so we need you to. Seriously, please help us move. Everything's on sale. Fireplaces, patio furniture, grills, fire pits, they're all on sale at Fireplace Superstore, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue in Urbandale.
And welcome back to Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. Mark Amadale joined by Dave Marcoulli as we wrap up tonight's game. Dowling with the win, 21-20 over Urbandale. And Dave, as a coach, summarizing this game and what all happened, talk a little about, as a former coach, how you saw this game, because Tom Wilson now has some tape on his team, and Sam Anderson, as he goes into week 3, has some more tape on his Urbandale team.
Well, you know, we talked about this at the beginning of the game. I don't want to get into who had an advantage because we didn't play last week, but when you're able to play a game and critique your players and go over the mistakes that were made, a lot of learning can take place. Urbandale had that opportunity, and now Dowling's going to have an opportunity to do that this week. And I can go back many years, and Brian, you're sitting over here, you can probably remember, Dowling seems to struggle a little bit, usually their first game. They did last year against Xavier. It was like a 24-2 game, but not the best performance. The kids were very disappointed in their play. But week 2, as we call it, game 2, I guess we're going to have to say, they come out and they're a different team. And I really look for this Dowling team to clean up a lot of the mental mistakes that they made tonight. A lot because they haven't played, a lot because they're brand new to the game as far as game time experience. And I think we're going to see a pretty tough Dowling team next week.
All right, tonight's game has been brought to you in part by St. Gregory Retreat Center. Our thanks to them for underwriting our broadcast of Dowling Catholic High School football. St. Gregory Retreat Center, the new standard for recovery, online at stgregoryct.com. And also thanks to Win Mail USA and Win Communications, DowlingWebcasting.com. It's brought to you by them, and we appreciate all their support for Dowling Catholic football. And don't forget Two Rivers Glass and Door, providing commercial glass and aluminum storefronts for your home or specialty items. That's Two Rivers Glass and Door at tworiversglass.com. Mark Amadale, Dave Marcoullier, and of course, we got some updated scores, and our thanks to all the folks here in our booth, not only Kristen Dalen back at the studio for Iowa Catholic Radio, but Pete Tarpey and his fine crew here on the webcasting part. Well, Dowling next week, they will travel to Waukee, and for Urbandale, they will play Southeast Polk. Well, those two teams are meeting tonight. Southeast Polk leading Waukee 21-17 in the third quarter. Now, folks, got to remember, we're about a half hour ahead of some of the other games. We kicked off at 7. Most other games tonight kicked off at 7:30. But Southeast Polk leading Waukee 21-17. Dave, we'll be over at Waukee next Friday night doing radio only, but we'll be the game will be audio cast through the Central Iowa Sports Network. But it should be a great matchup.
Yeah, that score kind of surprised me. I thought Waukee would be able to handle Polk. I thought it would be a close game, but good for Polk over Waukee 21-17.
That's just third quarter. A lot of game left there. In the fourth quarter, Ankeny Centennial shutting out Roosevelt 40-0. Other scores has Indianola upending Lincoln 27-13 in the third quarter. And a final, Johnston defeated the Ankeny Hawks 20-17 tonight, as some of those games you witnessed or heard through the Central Iowa Sports Network and Pete Tarpey's group. I want to thank some of our other sponsors tonight, and these include Jethro's Barbecue, proud supporter of Dowling Catholic football, and they have 6 metro locations to serve you. Northwest Bank, thanks to them, they broadcast as we broadcast Dowling Catholic football and webcast Dowling football. And finally, Skeffington's Formal Wear, thanks to them, they provide service, style, and selection for weddings, prom, and those special occasions. They have locations at Ankeny, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Davenport, and Coralville, online at skeffingtons.com. Well, gentlemen, that'll wrap things up. Dave, thanks for all you've done. I think you probably lost 10 pounds tonight being in the booth next to me. I just downed water every other play, and it worked out fine. But, hey, maybe next week will be a little cooler over at Waukee.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have air conditioning, won't they? And
sure they will.
Most press boxes, too.
Sure they will. Well, again, thanks to all the gang here with Iowa Catholic Radio, Kristen Dalen, our producer in the studio, Pete Tarpey and his great crew on the webcast. Don't forget, webcasting next week. It'll be a Valley at home next week, and they'll be taking on, I believe, Southeast Polk, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll be here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. And we'll be on radio next week only, Dave, on the road at Waukee, Dowling and Waukee. And there'll be video of the Waukee-Dowling game. Thank you, Mr. Tarpey, for including that. And Urbandale Johnson also video. Hey, 3 games here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. So that'll wrap things up for our sideline reporter who's getting his fill of Bev Whipple's cookies. That's Brian Morris. This is Mark Amadale for Dave Marcoullier. Thanks for listening to Iowa Catholic Radio and watching the game on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Until next week, have a blessed and faith-filled holiday weekend.